Yes, good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Very good morning. Only few members are there, yes. See the titles. 8 to 9, only 9 members are there. 10. Okay, start fast. Start joining. So let us start the class. So in the previous class, up to how much we had studied? Did you remember? Up to how much we had studied? Yes? Anybody will you say me how much we had studied? Because of the 3 days gap, I'm asking you how much we had studied. Just to recall. Yes? We were studying about the image formation in the convex lenses when the objects were at different positions. Yes or no? Yes? Students, it is cold. That means you will sleep. Get up. Only 10 members are there. What about the remaining members? Yes, I'm asking you. Answer me. We were studying about the image formations in case of the convex lens when the objects were at different positions. So can you recall? Yes, in the first case, when the object was at infinity, that means it was at a far away distance, where was the image formed? I'm speaking about the convex lens. Just recall so that we can continue. Yes, students say me, where is the image formed when the convex lens is used? The object is at infinity?
At focus.
At principal focus. Very good. We are going to get the image at the principal focus. If the object is at infinity, we are going to get the image at the principal focus. And what was the size of the object image? What was the size?
Highly diminished.
It is highly diminished, almost point size. The size of the image was highly diminished and it was a point size. What was the nature of the image then? What was the nature? Yes, nature of the image?
Real and inverted.
Real and inverted. The nature was real and inverted and the size was very small. Now let us come to the second case. Slowly we are coming nearer to the lens. We are bringing the object near to the lens. If this is a lens, this is a convex lens, we are bringing the object nearer to the lens and observing how are the images formed. First case, we were speaking about the object at the infinity. At that time, you got the image at the principal focus and you told that it is highly diminished point size. And the nature was real and inverted. Now we are going to bring the object nearer to the lens. Okay. If the object is, second case was what? I am going to bring the object from infinity to, yes, what was the second position of the object?
Beyond 2F1.
Very good, beyond to F1. If the object was beyond to F1, where was the image got then? Where did you get the image? Where did you get the image?
Between F2 and 2F2.
Between F2 and 2F2. The image was obtained here. When the object was beyond 2F1, Beyond 2f1, you had got the image between f2 and 2f2. And what was the size of the image now? Yes, what was the size of the image that you have got here?
Diminished.
Again, it was diminished only. It is looking almost similar, but again the size was diminished only. The size when the object was at beyond 2f1 was diminished. Now, what was the nature of the image then? What was the nature of the image? Yes? How was the nature?
Real and inverted.
Real and inverted. So this is the second case. When the object is beyond 2f1, you are going to get the image between f2 and 2f2. And the nature is real and inverted. It is diminished one. Now you are going to bring the object still closer to the lens. Now what was the third case when you are going, where you are going to keep the object now? Yes, where you want to keep the object now? Third case. Yes, where you want to keep the object now?
At 2f1.
At 2f1, exactly at 2f1 we want to keep the object. When the object is at 2f1, where you are going to get the image? Yes, where you are going to get the image? When the object is at 2f1, you will get the image naturally after the diffraction. So where you are going to get the image now? Which side? On
At 2f2.
Very good. At 2f2, you are going to get the image at 2f2. What is the size of the image now? Yes, what is the size of the image and the object? Compare the size of the image and the object now. How is the size?
Ma'am, same size.
It is exactly same size. When the object is at 2f1, you are going to get the image as 2f2, and both the size of the object and the image is exactly same. Because since it is at the principal, since it is at 2f1, you are going to get the image at 2f2. And here both the sizes of the object and the image is same. And what is the nature now? Observe. What is the nature? The nature of the image is? Yes, how is the nature of the image? Observe it. See the nature. It is real and inverted. The nature of the object, that is the 2f1, is real and inverted image. Now next position, where you are going to imagine the object now. Bring further closer to the lens. Yes, bring further closer to the lens. Now you are going to keep the object between, yes, between what? See here, between, yes, where
f1 and 2f1.
f1 and 2f1, or 2f1 and f1. If this is the position of the object, where you are going to get the image now? Yes, where you are going to get the image? Yes, where you are going to get the image? Observe the tabular column and answer at least. Just I'm recalling
Beyond 2f2.
Beyond 2f2. Now beyond 2f2 you are going to get the image. If the object is between 2f1 and f1, you are going to get the image beyond 2f2. It is, what is the size now? What is the size of the image that you have got now? Just
Enlarged.
it is enlarged. Now onwards it starts becoming larger. Which will become larger? Your image starts becoming larger. So the size of the image is enlarged. What is the nature of the image then? What is the nature here? Yes? Again it is real and inverted. It is again real and inverted. In almost all the cases it is real and inverted. Only in the last case it is virtual and erect. Now next position, where you are going to imagine the object now? Yes, where you are going to imagine the object now? Again you are moving closer to the lens now. Now in the previous case you were between f1 and 2f1. Now your object you are going to keep at what? Its first position?
f1.
Exactly at f1. Now if your object is at f1, where you are going to get the image? It is exactly the reverse case of the first one. So just think it over. If your object is at F1, where you are going to get the image?
At infinity.
At infinity. Very good. If the object is at the principal focus, then your image will be at infinity. In the first case, the object was at infinity. You had got the image at the principal focus. Now, your object is at the principal focus. So, your image will be at the infinity. Now, how will be the image then? What must be the size of the image? Just guess what must be the size of the image? See, object is here. Your image is obtained at infinity. Then what must be the size of the image? Think it over. Yes?
Highly enlarged.
Highly enlarged. The image is highly enlarged. What is the nature then? What is it is? Not yet virtual and direct. Now still it is? What is the nature? Yes?
Real and inverted.
Still it is real and erect only. Up to this much it is real and erect only. After this position you are going to virtual and erect. Okay. Up to this much position, up to the object at the principal focus. At this position your image will be real and erect only, and it is highly
Ma'am, real and inverted.
real and inverted. Okay, it is real and inverted. It is at infinity. Okay. Now next position. See, when the object was at principal focus, image was obtained at infinity. That is real and inverted and enlarged also. Now you are going to bring the object further nearer to the lens. Now where you are going to keep the object? Yes, where you are going to keep the object? I am telling you to bring nearer to the lens. Bring the object nearer to the lens. In the previous case, it was at the principal focus. Now, where you are going to keep the object?
My optical center O.
Between F1 and O optical center, between the principal focus and the optical center. You are going to keep the object here, between the principal focus and the optical center. If your object is between these 2 points, where you are going to get the image now? This is the last case. So where you are going to get the image, say me? Observe your diagrams in the textbook and the tabular column. Yes, say me, where you are going to get the image? On the other side of the lens or on the same side of the lens? Yes, which
Same side of the lens.
going to get on the same side of the lens. The image is obtained on the same side of the lens. Now what is the size of the image here? Yes, what is the size of the image?
Enlarged.
Enlarged.
Enlarged. The size is enlarged. What is the nature now?
Virtual and erect.
It is virtual and erect. Now from this position, the size of the image started becoming enlarged, and when the object is between F1 and your optical center, you are going to get the image beyond 2F1, and it is enlarged, and the nature is virtual and erect. And these were the positions of the object we had imagined and observed how the images were obtained. So this was the image formation in case of the convex lenses, isn't it? This was the case of the image formation in the convex lenses. Is it clear? Anybody any doubt in the image formation of the convex lenses?
No, ma'am.
No? So let us come to the next one. Now next one is image formation in the, yes, which one of the lens is there next now?
Concave lens. Concave.
Image formation in concave lenses. So how many positions are you going to imagine now? Yes? How many positions of the object you are going to imagine now?
2.
2 positions.
Only two positions you are going to imagine. The first one is, yes, first one is
At infinity.
at infinity. Very good. You are going to keep first at infinity. Then what is the possibility of getting, where is the possibility of getting the image? Now you are saying that the object is in infinity, means we should take a parallel beam of the rays. Yeah, you are going to get the rays Parallelly. After the refraction, where is the image obtained now? I have taken the parallel rays from the object which is at a far away distance, so that we are saying it as the object is at infinity. Now, since your object is at infinity, a parallel beam of rays is incident on your concave lens. Which kind of the lens you are using here? Yes, which kind of the lens you are using?
Concave lens.
Concave lens.
Since we are using a concave lens, a parallel beam is incident means which kind of the lens? Another name is there for this. What kind of the name is there? Yes, what is the name given for this based on the formation of the rays? What is the based on the formation of the rays? What is the name given for this lens? Converging or diverging? Yes? Is it a converging lens or a diverging lens? See, the rays appear to come from a single point means is it converging lens or a divergent lens? At least say me, where is the image obtained?
At focus F1.
At focus F1, very good. You are going to get the image at the principal focus F1, and from here the ray is getting refracted. Okay, from here the ray is getting refracted. See, till we have to take up to here, then it appears to be coming like this. Is it straight? This is the emerging ray. Now this is the position where you are going to get the image. Since the rays appear to come out from the principal focus, it is called as a divergent lens. And after the refraction, the image is obtained at the principal focus. Now where was your object? Your object was at? Yes, where was your object?
At infinity.
At infinity. Where you have got the image now?
At focus F1.
At principal focus F1. Now what is the size of the image then? What is the size of the image? I have not drawn any image. That means it is very, very small. So what is the size of the image here? It is
Highly diminished.
highly diminished point size image. On which side of the lens is the object and the image? See, object is on the left hand side. Then where is the image you have got? Compare the position of the object and the image with respect to the lens. Both are on the same side or opposite side? Yes, say me, where are they? They are on, both of them are on the, yes sir. Just observe the figure and say me, both the object and the images are obtained on the same lens. Okay, both the object and your image is on same side of the lens. Since the object is at infinity, you are going to get the image at the principal focus. You are going to get the image at the principal focus, and the size is highly diminished. Then what about the nature then? What about the nature of this image that you have got here? How is the nature? It is virtual and erect. It is virtual and erect. There is a tabular column and the diagrams given in your textbook with respect to this image formation in case of the concave lenses. See, page number 89. Have you opened your textbook? If you are not open at least now. Page number 89, there is a tabular column, table number 10.5. Okay, that is the table given with respect to this image formation of the concave lenses. Okay. See the table there, only two positions have been imagined at infinity first. Okay, position of the object is given at infinity, position of the image is given at focus F1, relative size of the image is given, highly diminished point size, and the nature is virtual and erect. Observe both the cases. In both the two positions, you are going to get the same nature. Here, in case of the concave lenses, the nature is always same. That is virtual and erect. So, observe this tabular column, page number 89, table number 10.5. And the images are given on page number 91. Page number 91, figure number 10.17. Observe the number below the diagram. This is the number for the above diagram. Okay. The number is given below the diagram. Observe that number. Don't get confused with this because in the notes I have mentioned you the figure numbers. Because of that I am clarifying you. Always see the figure numbers below the figures. Don't get confused with the figure numbers given above and below. Always the figure number is given below the figure. So wherever I have mentioned the figure number in your notes, observe the figure number every time below the diagram. Okay, every time you have to see the figure numbers below the diagram. Here two figures are there, two numbers they have mentioned. So for the second figure, the number is mentioned below the diagram. For first figure also, the number is mentioned below. Don't get confused with the figure numbers. If the figure is in between and there are two numbers above and below, if there is above one number and below one number and the figure is in between, don't get confused. Okay. Always observe the figure number below the diagram only. Is it clear? So while writing the notes, don't get confused. Is it correct? Is it clear for you? Always write the related diagram to the notes exactly, clearly, accurately. Have you understood how you have to see the diagrams, where you have to see the figure numbers while writing the notes?
Yes, ma'am.
So, observe the tabular column. Now, here in both the cases. So, we were discussing about the first case. In the first case, the object was at infinity. As the object was at infinity, where you have got the image? Where is your image? Your image is at principal focus. And what is the size of the image? It is very small, that is highly diminished. Now, what is the nature we have told here? Yes, what is the nature of the image? Yes, tell me, what is the nature? I told you to observe the tabular column. So, what is the nature? Just now I explained both the cases it is. How is the nature of the image in concave lenses? Yes, how is the nature?
Virtual and erect.
It is always virtual and erect. This was the first case. Now let us come to the second case. This was the first case. Object was infinity. At infinity, image was formed at the principal focus. Size was highly diminished. Nature was virtual and erect. Now let us consider the second case. In second case, where you are going to imagine the object now. So where you want to keep the object now? Yes. Yes, see the tabular column and say me at least. Where is the position of the object? This is the concave lens that you are going to use here. This is the principal axis. This is the optical center. This is the first focus, F1. The first center of curvature, 2F1. It should be a straight line, okay? And this is the second principal focus, F2. 2F2, okay? Now in the second position, where you are going to imagine the object here? Where you are going to imagine the object? Just see the tabular column and say me.
Between infinity and optical center.
Between infinity and optical center. That not like that. That means we are going to imagine the object with respect to you 2F1 and F1. You say me. We are going to imagine at a finite distance, I'm saying here. Okay? We are going to imagine the object at a finite distance. So exactly where you are going to draw the object now? Yes? Where you want to draw the object now? I will draw the object at what? See the diagram. See the tabular column. I am going to imagine the object between 2F1 and F1. That means it is at a finite distance. Just see the textbook. I am imagining between 2F1 and F1. So where is the possibility of getting the image? In this case, always at a finite distance, you are imagining the object means always you are going to get the image between F1 and your optical center. Between this 2 points only you are going to get the image. Wherever your object may be, the condition is the object is at a finite distance. If the object is at a finite distance, always in this lens, that is concave lens, you are going to get the image between these 2 points only, F1 and the optical center O. Okay, where is the image then? The image is like this. See, the ray is incident like this on the lens. Now it is incident at the principal optical center. Now after refraction, since it is a parallel beam, it appears to diverge from the principal focus. Okay. Now since it is incident by the ray diagram, since it is incident on the optical center, it gets refracted without deviation. It goes in the same path. Okay. So where is your image obtained? Image is obtained here. Correct? Now what is the size of the image then? Since the object was at finite distance, your image is obtained between
Yes, Sangesh, yeah. Yes, Sangesh.
F1 and your image is obtained between F1. What is the size of the image now? What is the size of the image here? See, compare your object and the image. Both the things you compare, object and which is the bigger one? Compare your object and the image, which is bigger one. Yes, students? Compare the size and answer me. How is the size of the image obtained here? Are you listening me?
Diminished.
It is diminished. In this case, always you are going to get the size of the image as diminished only. Let it be the size of the object in any way. Always you are going to get the image diminished only. Okay. Here you are going to get a diminished image. The size is diminished. What about the nature of the image then? How is the nature? Observe it. How is the nature? What is the nature of the image that you obtained here? Yes? Just now I have explained. In this kind of the lenses, always you are going to get the nature same. What is that nature? Yes, what is
Virtual and erect.
very good. It is virtual and erect. Always you are going to get the virtual and the erect image, and that too a diminished image. So this was about the image formation in case of the concave lenses. Is it clear? Anybody any doubt about the image formation in case of the concave lenses? No doubt though? Yes? Is it clear or not?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Clear, no? Only two positions we are going to imagine. One at infinity and another one at a finite distance. And in both the cases, in first case, very highly diminished. That is when the object is at infinity, you are going to get a highly diminished point size image at the principal focus. And it is virtual indirect. In every time you are going to get the images on the same side of the lens on which side the object is. Object and the image are on the same side. Now second case, we are imagining the object at between F2 and 2F1 and F1. The image was imagined between 2F1 and F1, and image was also obtained on the same side. Again, between F1 and O, a diminished image, and the nature was virtual and erect. So this was about the image formation in case of the concave lenses. So it is clear, means let us go to the next thing. That is sign convention of the spherical lenses. Have you heard the word sign convention in the previous classes also? Just recall. Have you learned about the sign convention of the lenses? Not lenses, but you have learned about the mirrors. Sign convention of the spherical mirrors you have learned. Similarly, there is a sign convention for the spherical lenses. Okay, there is a sign convention for spherical lenses also. And it is exactly similar to that of the sign convention for the spherical mirror. Both the things are same, only there is a slight change. What is the change that you are going to learn now? Okay, sign convention for the spherical lens. No need to write anything, just there is a single thing. See, you have learned mu partition sign convention for the spherical mirror. In the same way, you have to imagine the lens and you have to explain it in the same way. Only the change is if it is a convex lens. If it is a convex lens, there is only a change in the focal length. How you are going to take the sign convention for the focal length? If it is a convex lens, the focal length is taken as positive. Remaining all things remain same. Object distance, image distance, both the things remain same. Okay. Only the change is if it is a convex lens, then the focal length is taken as positive. Okay. If it is a convex lens, this is the case of the lenses. Sign convention for the lenses we are studying. In case of the sign convention of the lenses, object distance remains same, image distance remains same. Only the change is if it is a convex lens, the focal length is positive. The next case, naturally, it is a concave lens. Then what about the concave lens? How must be the principal focus? Yes, what should be the sign of the principal focus? Focal length. What should be the sign of the focal length in case of the concave lenses? We are saying that for a convex lens, the focal length is taken positive, means naturally the reverse thing. For the concave lens, the focal length is taken as, how is the focal length taken? It is taken as negative. Only the change in the sign convention of the spherical mirrors and the spherical lenses is only this thing. That is, for convex lens, the focal length is positive. And for the case of concave lens, the focal length is negative. This you have to remember. See, this is the thing that you have to remember forever. What is the change means? For convex lenses, the focal length is taken positive. For the concave lens, the focal length is taken negative. This you have to be very careful while solving the problem. Okay. This you have to remember because you should be very aware of the signs while you are solving the problem. If single sign is changed, then the total problem will be wrong. So is it clear about the sign convention of the spherical lenses? So what is the sign given to the focal length of a convex lens? Yes, what is the sign given to the focal length of a convex lens? Just with your answer, what is the? Yes, what is the sign given to the focal length of a convex lens? Will you answer me? Just see on the board and answer. What is the sign given? Yes. What is the sign given for the focal length of a convex lens? Positive or negative? Yes, students, answer me. What is the sign given for the focal length of a convex lens? See on the board. Are you
Positive.
It is positive. The sign given for the focal length of a convex lens is positive. Then what is the sign given for the focal length of a concave lens? Naturally,
Negative.
it is negative. Only this is the change with respect to lenses and the mirrors. So is it clear about the sign convention of the spherical lenses? Is it clear? Yes, answer. Why will you not answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear? Boys,
Yes, ma'am.
is it clear? So I should ask you separately, boys, girls. Because if both of them answer together, there is something else. I think because of that you are not answering, boys. Don't feel anything. If you hesitate, you will never learn. While studying, you should never hesitate. If you hesitate, you will never learn. Hesitation is not there. It should not be there. Hesitation should never be there in studies. Okay, so let us come to the next thing, that is lens formula and magnification. So lens formula. Have you heard about the mirror formula? Yes? You have studied, no? Yes or no? Both boys and girls. Have
Yes, ma'am.
you, boys? You have studied mirror formula or no?
Yes, ma'am.
We have studied mirror formula and magnification. In the same way, there is a lens formula and magnification. What was the mirror formula? Just recall. What was the mirror formula? 1 by, yes, Amy, at least now. What was the mirror formula? Just recall. What is the sign? What must be the sign given here for the mirror formula? Positive or negative sign between these?
Positive.
Very good. It was a positive sign in case of the mirror formula. Okay. In case of the mirror formula, it was 1 upon V plus 1 upon U is equal to 1 upon F. V is considered as the which distance? Yes, V is considered as which distance? Yes, V represents the distance of what? V represents which distance?
Image distance.
V represents image distance. What about U then? U represents
Object distance.
object distance. F represents
Focal length.
focal length. So this was the mirror formula. Now we are speaking about the lens formula. Means naturally there must be some change. Both cannot be identical. Yes, no. If they were identical, they would have taught together there only. They would have been included there only. Since they are writing mirror formula and lens formula separately, means there is some change in this formula. So what is that change? Will you just say me? There is a change in the sign here. So instead of a positive sign, there comes the negative sign. This is the change in the mirror formula. Now I have converted the mirror formula into the lens formula. If I write a negative sign, it becomes the lens formula. So lens formula has explains us that the reciprocal of the, so we'll say directly however it is. 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equal to 1 upon F. This is your lens formula. Okay, this is your lens formula. So is it clear? Just in case of the mirror formula, you have to remove the positive sign and you have to write the negative sign. This becomes your lens formula. The mirror formula will be converted into the lens formula. That is 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equal to 1 upon F. This is your lens formula, and this is applicable for all the types of the lenses that you are going to use in this study. Okay. Now let us come to the next thing, that is magnification. While writing the signs, you should be very careful. See, okay, you should be very careful. If it is a convex lens, the F is positive. If it is a concave lens, the F should be negative. While solving the problems, you should be very careful with the signs. Otherwise, you will not get the accurate answer. So now next thing is magnification. You all learned magnification in case of the mirrors also. In the similar way, there is a magnification for the lenses also. What was the magnification with respect to the mirror? Yes, just recall what was the magnification, how was the relation given for the magnification in terms of the heights of the mirror, heights of the object and images in case of the mirror. Yes, how was the relation given? Magnification is equal to, yes, recall, magnification.
H dash and H.
Very good, H dash upon H. What does H dash represent? Yes, H dash represents the height of what? H dash is, very good, H dash represents the height of the image. But naturally, H represents the height of the
Object.
object. Magnification is the ratio of height of the image to that of the height of the object. This was the magnification in terms of the height of the object and the images. Similarly, it is same for the height of the object and image in terms of lenses also. Here the magnification formula remains same both for lenses and both for lens and for the mirror. The magnification remains the same. It is the high magnification is given as the ratio of the height of the image to that of the height of the object. Okay, this is in terms of height of the object and image. Now, if we compare the magnification with respect to object distance and image distance, yes, in terms of object distance and image distance, in terms of the mirrors, we gave a negative sign. Now, here we are not going to give a negative sign, it is just V upon U. Okay, the magnification in terms of object distance and image distance is given as M is equal to V upon U, the ratio of the image distance to the object distance. This is the magnification given for the lenses. The magnification given for lenses. And up to this much it is same for mirror and the lens. Only the change is here. For mirrors there was a negative sign. For the lenses there is no negative sign. Is it clear about the lens formula and the magnification? Yes? No doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
So let us come to the problems now. There are two problems given in your textbook. So let us understand them. Now first problem. Just read it. Understand what is the given thing. See. The first thing after reading the problem is you have to write the given thing. What is given? What has been mentioned in the question you have to write given and which term you are going to find out. So problem number 10.3. Read it. What is explained? What is given you just seen. Example 10.3. A concave lens has a focal length. See, the first line is saying that here you are going to use a concave lens. Now, what must be the sign given to the focal length? Yes, say, given what? Focal length is given to you. Yeah. What is the sign given for the focal length of a concave lens? Whether positive or negative? Just now I explained you. So whether you are going to take a positive sign or a negative sign? For the
Negative.
very good. You are going to take a negative sign. It is 15 centimeters means minus 15 centimeters. Correct? So you are going to use the negative sign since it is a concave lens. Now next, at what distance should the object from the lens be placed? At what distance object should be placed means which distance you have to calculate? Yes, which distance you have to calculate? Object distance. At what distance you have to keep the object they are asking you. Okay. So that it forms an image at 10 centimeters. The image is formed at 10 centimeters. See, 10 centimeters, the image is formed by which lens? Yes, 10 centimeters, the image is formed by which kind of the lens now? Yes, in the question only they have given. Which kind of the lens it is? Concave or convex lens?
Concave lens.
Concave lens. Concave lens. Then where is the image formed in case of the concave lens? Left side of the lens or right side of the lens? Yes, which side of the lens is the image formed in the concave lens? Just now we have imagined the two positions, and both the positions the image was on the same side of that of the object, correct? Yes or no? So object and image were both on the same side, that too they were at the left side. See here, this is a concave lens. In both the cases the object and the images were on the same side. First at the principal focus, next at this between F1 and O. Now your image is on the left side, means which sign you are going to give for this 10 centimeters? Positive or negative? Sign convention. It is positive x-axis or negative x-axis, left side.
Negative x-axis.
Very good. X-axis means you are going to give the negative sign for the image distance. So it is minus 10 centimeters. Why I am giving minus 10 centimeters? Because your image is on the left side of the lens. Left side means it is naturally negative x-axis. Since it is a negative x-axis, we are going to give minus sign for the 10 centimeters. So did you understand why I have written a minus sign for the 10 centimeter distance for an image distance? Yes, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So you should be very careful while writing the sign. Then only you are going to get the correct answer for the given problem. Okay. Now next thing. Also find the magnification produced by the lens. You have to find the magnification also. So these are the two given things. Remaining things you have to calculate. What you have to calculate? You have to calculate the object distance and the magnification. So which you are going to calculate the first thing? For both the things. To calculate magnification, you need this one. So first you are going to calculate the object distance. So we know that, what do you know? Lens formula. According to the lens formula, 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equal to 1 upon F. But you want object distance, that is U you want. So you take U on one side, left hand side. So I will write directly like this. I will put this that side and I will take this one this side. 1 by V minus 1 upon F. What is the value of V? 1 upon minus 10 minus of 1 upon minus 15. So this becomes minus 1 upon 10 minus into minus plus 1 upon 15. Finally calculate the value. This is a fraction subtraction. See, negative sign, positive sign. That means we have to subtract. This is a fraction subtraction. After fraction subtraction, which value you are going to get here? It is
Minus 30.
minus 30. That is 1 upon U, you are going to get minus 1 upon 30. So directly, this is 1 upon U's value. So U is equal to minus 30. Why minus 30? Because object is also on the left side of the lens. So it is a negative sign. So you can say that your object is at 30 centimeters from the lens. Okay. Object is at 30 centimeters from the lens. Now next thing, they ask you the magnification. Now which formula you are going to use magnification? Magnification in terms of object distance and image distance, because you know both these two things. So you are going to use M is equal to V upon U. If height was given, you would have used the magnification in terms of the height of the object and height of the image. Since you have calculated the object distance and you know the image distance, now you are going to calculate the magnification. M is equal to V upon U. Okay. What is the V? Value of V is minus 10 divided by, what is your U? Minus 30. Minus divided by minus is plus. So this 0 cancel, 1 upon 3. So your value for the magnification is 1 upon 3. It is a positive sign. See, it is positive means the magnification is having a positive sign, means it is virtual and erect. Based on the sign for the magnification, you are going to say the nature of the image that you are going to obtain. The nature is virtual and erect. Don't get confused with the sign of the magnification and the sign convention. This sign says you real and virtual. Reality on the nature of the image is explained in terms of the magnification. Don't go to these signs. Don't mix these signs and this sign. This sign shows you the nature of the image. Since it is positive, since the sign for the magnification is positive, your image is real. What kind of the image you are going to get here? Since it is positive, you are going to virtual and erect image. If it was negative, what was the nature of the image then? This you have been clarified in magnification of the mirror. Below that notes you see in for the magnification of mirrors at that time while explaining that one in the notes also I have given. If the sign for the magnification is positive, the nature of the image is virtual and erect. If the sign for the magnification is negative, then how is the image? Magnification is negative means how is the image? Real and yes, how is the image? Forgotten?
Real and
inverted. If the magnification is negative, the image is real and inverted. If the magnification is positive, it is virtual and erect. So in this case, you are going to get the image virtual and erect. What about the size then? The image is 1/3 of that of the object. The image is 1/3 of that of the size of the object. How is the image? The image is 1/3 of that of the size of the object. Is it clear? Among the 3 terms in your length formula, they had given you 2 terms. Your image distance and the focal length. After using this formula and substituting the given values, first you calculated the, what you have calculated here first? You have calculated object distance. Yes, no? You have calculated object distance. After getting the object distance and having the image distance with you in the given thing, by using these two, you have calculated the magnification. After calculating magnification, first you have to observe the sign associated with the number here. Since the sign is positive, it is virtual and erect. Since the sign associated with the number which is representing the magnification is positive, so the image obtained is virtual and erect. And it is 1/3 means your image is 1/3 of that of the size of the object. Is it clear about this problem? Anybody, any doubt? Is the problem clear to you?
yes, ma'am.
The
Yes, ma'am.
there is maximum marks, so be thorough with the problems. Don't forget them. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Is it clear? So bell has gone. So let us continue the next class tomorrow. Thanks for the today's class. Okay. And another one thing, see, I have sent you the notes yesterday. Did you get it? Notes on this chapter. Have you got the notes?
Yes, ma'am.
So have you made a separate book? If you have not written the earlier notes, I told you to prepare a separate notebook. It would have been easy for the correction. For the purpose of easy for the correction, I told you to prepare a separate notebook for the physics. Have you started writing? So I had given you time to submit the books on Monday. So have you given the books? Anybody? At least few members?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I want all the books tomorrow. See, if anybody is still pending, tomorrow, today at least you submit. Up to today evening you submit. Leave this chapter. Only 2 chapters at least you submit me the books today only. If you give if everybody gives me the books, then only I'll check it. Otherwise, I'll leave it as it is. So you will suffer, see. So send the notebooks today at least. Okay, thank you. ಹಾ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಗಮನಿಸ್ರಿ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಫೇರ್ ನಿಮ್ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ನಾನು ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರ ಪದ್ಯದ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಬರೆಸ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾನೇ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನಿಂತು ಬರ್ಸ್ಬಿಡೋದು. ಅದು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಉಳಿತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಫೇರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿವ್ರಿ.
ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಫೇರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕಳ್ಸಿರಿ.
ಹ್ಞೂ ರೀ.
ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಕನ್ನಡ ವ್ಯಾಕರಣ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫೇರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. ಬೇರೆ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಕನ್ನಡ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ ಒಂದ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಒಂದ್ ಪೇಜ 1.5 ಪೇಜ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದು ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತು ಬರೆಸ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಬರ್ದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಗಿದು ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಉಳಿತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಉಳಿದ್ ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ನಾನು ಮುಂದಿನ ಪದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಬರ್ಸ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂತೀರಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಬರ್ಸಿ, ಸಮಯ ಉಳಿತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನಾಳಿನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದ್ರದ್ದೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸಮಯ ಸಾಕಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾಳಿನ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಹಾ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ರಿ. ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರ ಪದ್ಯದ ಹೆಸರು ಬರೀ. ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕವಿ ಹೆಸರು, ಪದ್ಯದ ಹೆಸರು ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರ, ಕವಿ ಹೆಸರು ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಸಾದರ್. ಅವ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರ ಪದ್ಯ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು 5 ಸಾಲ್ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ನಿಮ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ನಾಗದ ನೋಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ನೀವು ಬರೆಯುತ್ತಾ ನಿಂತ್ರ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಸಮಯ ಹಾಳಾಗ್ತದ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಒಂದು ಕನ್ನಡ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಫೇರ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕಳ್ಸಿದ್ರ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫೇರ್ ನಿಮ್ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಫೇರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇದೆ. ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ನೀವು ಪರೀಕ್ಷಾ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ತಿಳಿತಾ? ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರ ಕವಿಯ ಹೆಸರು, ಪದ್ಯ ರಚಿಸಿರುವ ಕವಿಯ ಹೆಸರು ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಸಾದರ್. ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಈ ರೀತಿ. ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಅಥವಾ 5 ಲೈನ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಲೈನ್ ಇರ್ತದ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರ, ಬರೆದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರ. ಅದು ನೀವು ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆ ಪದ್ಯದ ಹೆಸರು ಬರಿಬೇಕು, ಆ ಪದ್ಯ ರಚಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕವಿ ಹೆಸರು ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಕವಿ ಹೆಸರು ಬರೆದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ದ ಸಾಲುಗಳಿರ್ತಾವ, ಅದನ್ನು ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದ್ರ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್, ಅದ್ರ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ, ಅದ್ರ ಸಾರಾಂಶ ನೀವು ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಕೂಡ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಬರೆಯುವ ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಯುಗದ ಆದಿಯು ಬಂತು, ಸೊಗದ ಸುಗ್ಗಿಯು ತಂತು, ಜಗಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಸ ಕಳೆಯು ತುಂಬಿ ತೆಂತು, ಬಗೆ ಬಗೆಯ ಬಣ್ಣಗಳ ಬರೆದ ಚಿತ್ರದ ಹಾಗೆ ನೆಲದಮ್ಮ ನಾವು ವಧುವೆ ಆದಳಿಂತು. ಇದು 4 ಲೈನ್ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ 4 ಸಾಲ್ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ. 4 ಸಾಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪ್ಯಾರದ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಅದು. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಪದ್ಯ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಅದ್ರ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ. ಹೀಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಬರೆಯುತ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಈಗ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಹೇಳಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ? ವೈಷ್ಣವಿ ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ? ಹೇಳಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀರಿ? ವಸಂತ ಋತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದಂದು ಯುಗದ ಆದಿಯು ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಯುಗದ ಆದಿಯು ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಭಾರತೀಯರ ಹೊಸ ವರ್ಷ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬದಂದು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತದೆ. ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್. ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬದಂದು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತದೆ. ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್. ಆ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬವು ರೈತರಿಗೂ ಸಂತಸವನ್ನುಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. ರೈತರಿಗೂ ಸಂತಸವನ್ನುಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಏಕೆಂದರೆ ಆಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯುಗಾದಿಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಆಗ ಸುಗ್ಗಿಯು ಇರುವುದರಿಂದ ಸುಗ್ಗಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಾಶಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದವಸ ಧಾನ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ರಾಶಿ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆಗ ಸುಗ್ಗಿಯು ಇರುವುದರಿಂದ ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಗುರೊಡೆಯುವುದರಿಂದ ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳು ಚಿಗುರು ಒಡೆಯುವುದರಿಂದ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಕಳೆಯು ಕಳೆ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ದಾಗ ಆ ಒಂದು ಚಲುವಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಬರೀರಿ. ಹೊಸ ಕಳೆಯು ಚಲುವಿಕೆಯು ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಕಳೆಯು ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಲುವಿಕೆಯು ತುಂಬಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಚಲುವಿಕೆಯು ತುಂಬಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಚಲುವಿಕೆಯು ತುಂಬಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಯುಗಾದಿಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಂದು ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳು ಚಿಗಿತು ಬಗೆಯ ಬಗೆಯ ಹೂಗಳು ಅರಳಿ ನಿಂತಿರುತ್ತವೆ. ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳು ಚಿಗಿತು ಬಗೆಯ ಹೂಗಳು ಅರಳಿ ನಿಂತಿರುತ್ತವೆ. ಇದು ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಚಿತ್ರ ಬಿಡಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಚಿತ್ರ ಬಿಡಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ. ಚಿತ್ರ ಬಿಡಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಕಂಡಿರುವ ಕವಿ ಈ ಭೂತಾಯಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಂಡಿರುವ ಕವಿ ಈ ಭೂತಾಯಿ ಮಧುಮಗಳ ಹಾಗೆ ಶೃಂಗಾರಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಮಧುಮಗಳ ಹಾಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಂಡು ಕವಿ ಈ ಭೂತಾಯಿ ಮಧುಮಗಳ ಹಾಗೆ ಶೃಂಗಾರಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಳೆಂದು ವರ್ಣಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎರಡನೇ ಪೇರ. ಈಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಆ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು 4 ಅಥವಾ 5 ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಎರಡನೇ ಪೇರದ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ನಾನು ಬರೆಸ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. 5 ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ದಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಪಿರಿಯಡ್ ಮುಗಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪದ್ಯದ ಆ 4 ಸಾಲುಗಳು ನೀವು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಯಾವ ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಕೊರಡ ಕೊನರಿಸಿ ತುದಿಗೆ ಮುಗುಳುನೆಗೆ ಮುತ್ತಿಟ್ಟು ಬರಡು ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಸತು ಚೈತನ್ಯವು ಕುಕಿಲ ಕೋಗಿಲೆಯ ಕಂಠ ಮುಕ್ತ ತಾರಕಕ್ಕೇರಿ ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿಯ ಕಲರವ ಕೆಮ್ಮತ್ತೇರಿದೆ. ಈ ಪದ್ಯದ ಸಾಲುಗಳ ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನು ನಾನೀಗ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈ 4 ಸಾಲುಗಳ ಅರ್ಥ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಎರಡನೇ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫ್. ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದ ಯುಗಾದಿಯಂದು ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದ ಯುಗಾದಿಯಂದು ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಣಗಿ ನಿಂತಿರುವ ಬರುಡಾಗಿರುವ ಕೊರಡು ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೊರಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಣ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಬರಿದಾದ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಕೊರಡು ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಕೊರಡು ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಗುರು 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 ಕಾಣಿಸಲು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಚಿಗುರು ಕಾಣಿಸಲು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಚಿಗುರು ಕಾಣಿಸಲು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಚಿಗುರಿದ ಎಲೆಗಳು ಚಿಗುರಿದ ಎಲೆಗಳು ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಮರದ ತುದಿಗೆ ಮುಗುಳು ನಗುತ್ತಾ ಮುತ್ತಿಡುತ್ತಿರುವಂತೆ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಲು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಲು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಲು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಆಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಸರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಣಗಿದ ಮರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಗುರೊಡೆದಾಗ, ಹಸಿರು ಬಣ್ಣಕ್ಕೆ ತಿರುಗಿದಾಗ, ಹೂ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಎಲೆಗಳು ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಆ ತುದಿಗೆ ಮುತ್ತಿಡುವಂತೆ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ಆಗ ಬರಡಾಗಿರುವ ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಸ್ಸಾರವಾಗಿರುವ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ ಬರಡಾಗಿರುವ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಸ್ಸಾರವಾಗಿರುವ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಸ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ, ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಅಥವಾ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಂತಲೂ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಅಥವಾ ಶಕ್ತಿ ತುಂಬಿದಂತಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಹೊಸ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಅಥವಾ ಶಕ್ತಿ ತುಂಬಿದಂತಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಸಂತೋಷಗೊಂಡಿರುವ ಸುಂದರ, ಬೇಡ ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೋಣ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಂದರ ಆ ಒಂದು ನಿಸರ್ಗದ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಸಂತೋಷಗೊಂಡಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು. ಸಂತೋಷಗೊಂಡಿರುವ ಕೋಗಿಲೆ ಸಂತೋಷಗೊಂಡಿರುವ ಕೋಗಿಲೆ ಎತ್ತರವಾದ ಧ್ವನಿಯಿಂದ ಸಂತೋಷಗೊಂಡಿರುವ ಕೋಗಿಲೆ ಎತ್ತರವಾದ ಧ್ವನಿಯಿಂದ ಮಧುರವಾಗಿ ಕೂಗಲು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಮಧುರವಾಗಿ ಕೂಗಲು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಧ್ವನಿ
ಮುಗಿಲಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟುತ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಧ್ವನಿ ಮುಗಿಲಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟುತ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಧ್ವನಿ ಮುಗಿಲಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟುತ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಧ್ವನಿ ಮುಗಿಲಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟುತ್ತದೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಾಲಿನ ಅರ್ಥ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ ಧ್ವನಿ ಮುಗಿಲಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟುತ್ತದೆ. ಮೊದಲಿಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಆ ಧ್ವನಿ ಮುಗಿಲಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟುತ್ತದೆ. ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುವ, ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುವ, ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುವ, ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುವ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು, ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುವ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು, ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುವ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು ನಶೆ ಏರಿದಂತೆ, ನಶೆ ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ನಶೆ ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುವ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು ನಶೆ ಏರಿದಂತೆ, ನಶೆ ಏರಿದಂತೆ, ನಶೆ ಏರಿದಂತೆ ಧ್ವನಿಯನ್ನುಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ. ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುವ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು ನಶೆ ಮತ್ತು ಏರಿದಂತೆ ಧ್ವನಿಯನ್ನುಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ, ಸಂಭ್ರಮಿಸುತ್ತವೆ. ಧ್ವನಿಯನ್ನುಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ, ಸಂಭ್ರಮಿಸುತ್ತವೆ. ಯಾಕಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ವಾತಾವರಣ ನೋಡಿ ಸಂತೋಷ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ, ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ, ಅರಳಿರುವ ಹೂಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ, ಆ ಒಂದು ನಿಸರ್ಗದ ಸುಂದರತೆಯನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಅವುಗಳು ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುತ್ತಾ ನಶೆ ಏರಿದಂತೆ ಮತ್ತೇರಿದಂತೆ ಅವು ಧ್ವನಿಯನ್ನುಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಅವು ಸಂಭ್ರಮಿಸ್ತವ, ಕುಣಿತವ, ಹಾರಾಡ್ತವ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಧ್ವನಿಯನ್ನುಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸಂಭ್ರಮಿಸುತ್ತವೆ. ಇದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮೂರನೇ ಪ್ಯಾರ, ಮೂರನೇ ಪ್ಯಾರದ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಮೂರನೇ ಪ್ಯಾರದ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬರೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ದಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. 5 ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಇದು ಪದ್ಯದ ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ, ಬರೆದುಕೊಂಡೇ ಅದ್ರ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಕೆಳಗಡೆ. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು ರೂಢಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಪದ್ಯದ ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಬರೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ 5 ಲೈನ್ಗಳು ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಮೈ ಕೊಡವಿ ಎದ್ದ ಜನ, ಮೈ ಕೊಡವಿ ಎದ್ದ ಜಗ, ಖಗ ಪಕ್ಷಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಲಘು ಬಗೆಯ ದಗದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟಂತಿದೆ. ಹೊಸತು ನವೋಲ್ಲಾಸ, ಹೊಸತು ಜೀವೋಲ್ಲಾಸ, ಜಿಗಿತ ಭಾವ ವಿಲಾಸ, ನೆಲ ಮುಗಿಲು ವಾಲಗವೇ ನಡೆದಂತಿದೆ. ಈ ಪದ್ಯದ ಸಾಲುಗಳನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದುಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದಂದು ಬರುವ ಯುಗಾದಿಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ, ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವ ಯುಗಾದಿಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ, ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದಂದು ಬರುವ ಯುಗಾದಿಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಯುಗಾದಿಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಸರ್ಗ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ. ನಿಸರ್ಗ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ. ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ನಿಸರ್ಗ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಸುಂದರ ನಿಸರ್ಗದ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದಾಗಿ, ಆ ಸುಂದರ ನಿಸರ್ಗದ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಆ ಸುಂದರ ನಿಸರ್ಗದ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಆ ಸುಂದರ ನಿಸರ್ಗದ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು ಆ ಸುಂದರ ನಿಸರ್ಗದ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು ಹುರುಪಿನಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು ಹುರುಪಿನಿಂದ ಮೈಕೊಡವಿ ಎದ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಟೆದು ನಿಂತು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಮೈಕೊಡವಿ ಎದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಎದ್ದು ನಿಂತು, ಎದ್ದು ಕುಳಿತುಕೊಂಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಯಿಂದ. ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು ಮೈಕೊಡವಿ ಎದ್ದು ಹುರುಪಿನಿಂದ ಮೈಕೊಡವಿ ಎದ್ದು, ಹುರುಪಿನಿಂದ ಆ ಗೂಡಿನಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಗುಹೆಗಳಿಂದ, ಮನೆಗಳಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿ ಜನರು ಹುರುಪಿನಿಂದ, ವಾತಾವರಣದ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಅವ್ರ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಂಟಾದ ಹುರುಪಿನಿಂದ ಎದ್ದು ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗನೆ ಹುರುಪಿನಿಂದ ಎದ್ದು ಮೈಕೊಡವಿ ಎದ್ದು ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗನೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೊರಡಲು ಸಿದ್ಧರಾಗುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಬೇಗನೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೊರಡಲು ಸಿದ್ಧರಾಗುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಏಕೆಂದರೆ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದ ಸುಂದರ ಸವಿಯಾದ ವಾತಾವರಣದ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ವಾತಾವರಣದ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಇವರ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಸ ಉಲ್ಲಾಸವನ್ನು ತುಂಬಿ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಶೀಲರಾಗಿರುವಂತೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಕ್ರಿಯಾಶೀಲರಾಗಿರುವಂತೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಸುಂದರ ಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರ ಸಂತೋಷಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಎಂಬಂತೆ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳ ಕಲರವ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳ ಕಲರವ ಜನರ ಹರ್ಷೋದ್ಗಾರ, ಜನರ ಹರ್ಷೋದ್ಗಾರ, ಜನರ ಹರ್ಷೋದ್ಗಾರ, ಜನರ ಹರ್ಷೋದ್ಗಾರ ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಿರುವುದನ್ನು, ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಕವಿ ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಿರುವುದನ್ನು, ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಕವಿ ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಕವಿ ನೆಲಮುಗಿಲಿನ ನೆಲಮುಗಿಲಿನ ವಾಲದ ನಡೆದಂತಿದೆ ಎಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೆಲಮುಗಿಲಿನ ವಾಲದ ನಡೆದಂತಿದೆ ಎಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನೆಲದಿಂದ ಮುಗಿಲಿನವರೆಗೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ನೆಲದಿಂದ ಮುಗಿಲಿನವರೆಗೆ, ನೆಲದಿಂದ ಮುಗಿಲಿನವರೆಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷದ ಧ್ವನಿ, ಸಂತೋಷದ ಧ್ವನಿ, ನೆಲದಿಂದ ಮುಗಿಲಿನವರೆಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷದ ಧ್ವನಿ, ಸಂತೋಷದ ಧ್ವನಿ ಕೇಳಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ನೆಲದಿಂದ ಮುಗಿಲಿನವರೆಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷದ ಧ್ವನಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸಂಭ್ರಮ, ಸಡಗರ, ಒಂದು ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದ ಒಂದು ಭಾವನೆಯ ಒಂದು ಭಾವನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಿರುವ ಒಂದು ಹುರುಪು, ಹುಮ್ಮಸ್ಸು ಎದ್ದು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಜನರು ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗನೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಹಾ ಹೂ ಅಂತ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಕೂಗುವುದು, ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳ ಕೂಗುವಿಕೆ ನೆಲದಿಂದ ಮುಗಿಲಿನವರೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸಂತೋಷದ ಧ್ವನಿ ನಡೆದಂತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲ ಮುಗಿಲಿನ ವಾಲಗ ನಡೆಯೋದು ಅಂದ್ರ ಸಂತೋಷದ ಪರಾಕಾಷ್ಠೆಯನ್ನು ತಲುಪಿದ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಷಣ, ಸಂತೋಷದ ತುತ್ತು ತುದಿಯನ್ನು ತಲುಪಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕ್ಷಣವೇ ಆ ನೆಲ ಮುಗಿಲಿನ ವಾಲಗ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಲಾಗ್ಯದ. ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನೆನೆ ಹೇಳಿನಿ, ಈಗ ಮದುವೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾವ, ಮದುವೆ ಅಂತ ಕಣ ಹಲವಾರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಕ್ಷತೆ ಬೀಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ವಾಲ್ಗವನ್ನು ಊದಿಸ್ತಾರ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಆ ಮದುವೆಯ ಸಂತೋಷದ ಪರಾಕಾಷ್ಠೆಯನ್ನು ತಲುಪಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅವಧಿ, ಅಕ್ಷತೆ ಬೀಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅವಧಿ. ಆಗ ಇದು ಸಂತೋಷದ ಒಂದು ತುತ್ತು ತುದಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಲುಪೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ವಾಲಗವನ್ನ ಊದಿಸಿ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಅಕ್ಷತೆಯನ್ನು ಹಾಕಲಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಈ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದಂದು ನಿಸರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳು ಸಿಗಿರ್ತಿರ್ತಾವು, ಆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ವಾತಾವರಣದ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಜನರ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಂಟಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂತೋಷ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಭರಿತರಾಗಿ ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗನೆ ಎದ್ದು ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು, ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು, ಜನರು ಕೂಡ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪದ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಜನರು, ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರು ಅಂತ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗನೆ ತಮ್ಮ ತಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಗ್ನರಾಗಿ ಸಂತೋಷದ ಒಂದು ಧ್ವನಿಯನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡಿ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಧ್ವನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಹಾಡನ್ನು ಹಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ. ಆ ಧ್ವನಿಯೇ ನೆಲದಿಂದ ಮುಗಿಲಿನವರೆಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದ. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಕವಿ ನೆಲ ಮುಗಿಲಿನ ವಾಲಗವೇ ನಡೆದಂತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ವರ್ಣಿಸಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾಲ್ಕನೇ ಪ್ಯಾರ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ 5 ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. 4ನೇ ಪ್ಯಾರ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, 5 ಸಾಲು ನೀವು ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. 5 ಸಾಲು ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಆ 5 ಸಾಲುಗಳು ಓದಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯುಗದ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕೊಳೆಯು ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ಮೈ ತೊಳೆದಂತೆ ನಗುವ ನಲಿವಿನ ಮುಖವೇ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಬೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇವಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿ ಕಹಿ ಕಳೆದು ಸಿಹಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೆದೆಗಳ ತುಂಬಾ ಸವಿ ಚೈತ್ರವು. ಈ 4 ಸಾಲಿನ ಅರ್ಥ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬ ಬಂದಾಗ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬ ಬಂದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಜಡತ್ವ ಕಹಿ ಅನುಭವಗಳು, ಕಷ್ಟಗಳು, ದೂರಾಗಿ. ಜಡತ್ವ, ಕಹಿ ಅನುಭವ, ಕಷ್ಟಗಳು ದೂರಾಗಿ. ದೂರಾಗಿ ಮನಸ್ಸು 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 ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಕವಿ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಕವಿ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಕವಿ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ಮೈ ತೊಳೆದುಕೊಂಡಾಗ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ಮೈ ತೊಳೆದುಕೊಂಡಾಗ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ಮೈ ತೊಳೆದುಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಆಗಿರುವ ಅನುಭವ ಆಗುತ್ತಿದೆ ಎಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಗಿರುವ ಅನುಭವ ಆಗುತ್ತಿದೆ ಎಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ಮೈ ತೊಳೆದುಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಕಶ್ಮಲ ಹೊಲಸು ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಸ್ವಚ್ಛವಾಗಿ ಗುಡಿತಾರ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಹಿ, ಜಡತ್ವ, ಕಷ್ಟ, ನೋವು ಎಲ್ಲ ದೂರಾಗಿ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವಂತೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಭಾವನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕವಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ.
ಇನ್ನೊಮ್ಮೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ.
ಹಾ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬದಂದು ಅಥವಾ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಜಡತ್ವ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಜಡತ್ವ, ಕಹಿ ಅನುಭವ ಅಥವಾ ಜಡತ್ವ, ಕಷ್ಟ, ಕಹಿ ಅನುಭವ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಣ. ಜಡತ್ವ, ಕಷ್ಟ, ಕಹಿ ಅನುಭವ ದೂರಾಗಿ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವುದನ್ನು ಕವಿ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ಮೈ ತೊಳೆದುಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಆಗಿರುವ ಅನುಭವ ಆಗಿದೆ ಎಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ತಿಕ್ಕಿ ಮೈ ತೊಳೆದುಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಆಗಿರುವ ಅನುಭವ ಆಗಿದೆ ಎಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಕಷ್ಟವನ್ನು ದೂರ ಮಾಡಿ, ಯುಗಾದಿ ಕಷ್ಟವನ್ನು ದೂರ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಸಂತೋಷ ನಲಿವನ್ನು ತಂದಿದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ನಗು ನಲಿವನ್ನು ತಂದಿದೆ. ನಗು ನಲಿವನ್ನು ತಂದಿದೆ. ಹೇಗೆಂದರೆ 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 ಬೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇವಿಗೆ ಬೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇವಿಗೆ ಬೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇವಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿದಾಗ ಬೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇವಿನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿದಾಗ ಬೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇವಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿದಾಗ ಕಹಿಯನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಹಿಯನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಹಿಯನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಿಹಿಯನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವಂತೆ ಸಿಹಿಯನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವಂತೆ ಸಿಹಿಯನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವಂತೆ ಸಿಹಿಯನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವಂತೆ ಸಿಹಿಯನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವಂತೆ ಈ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸವು ಈ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸವು ಈ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸವು ಈ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸವು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹೃದಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹೃದಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹೃದಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹೃದಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು ತುಂಬಿ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು ತುಂಬಿ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು ತುಂಬಿ ಸವಿಯಾದ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು ತುಂಬಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ 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 ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಬದುಕುವಂತಹ ಬದುಕುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಬದುಕುವಂತಹ ಹೊಸ ಭರವಸೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಬದುಕುವಂತಹ ಹೊಸ ಭರವಸೆ ಈ ಹೊಸ ವರ್ಷ ಈ ಯುಗಾದಿ ತಂದಿದೆ ಎಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಪದ್ಯದ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಹೋಗಿತ್ತಲ್ರದು. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಪದ್ಯದ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ?
Yes, ma'am.
ಹಾ, ಬರದ್ರಿ? ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಈ ಪದ್ಯ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಪದ್ಯದ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಓದ್ರಿ. ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ರಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನ. ಪದ್ಯದ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ತಿಳಿದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿವಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡಿವ ನೀನು?
Yes, ma'am.
ಮಾಡಿವಿ. ಹಾ, ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಒಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೆಲದಮ್ಮ ನವವಧುವಿನಂತೆ ಸಿಂಗಾರಗೊಳ್ಳುವುದು ಯಾವಾಗ? ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, ಉತ್ತರ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ನೀವೇ. ನೆಲದಮ್ಮ ನವವಧುವಿನಂತೆ
ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳನ್ನು ಚಿಗಿದಾಗ ನೆಲದಮ್ಮ ನವವಧುವಿನಂತೆ
ಸಿಂಗಾರಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಾಳೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಶಬ್ದ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪಿ ನೀನು. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ನೆಲದಮ್ಮ ನವವಧುವಿನಂತೆ ಸಿಂಗಾರಗೊಳ್ಳುವುದು. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಗುರೊಡೆದಾಗ, ಬಗೆ ಬಗೆಯ ಹೂ ಅರಳಿ ನಿಂತಾಗ ಯುಗಾದಿಯ ಹಬ್ಬದಂದು ನೆಲದಮ್ಮ ನವ ವಧುವಿನಂತೆ ಸಿಂಗಾರಗೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತಾಳೆ. ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬ ಅಂತ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪದ. ಚಿಗುರಿಡದಾಗ ಯಾವ ಹಬ್ಬ ಇರ್ತದೆ? ಯುಗಾದಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯುಗಾದಿಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲದಮ್ಮ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಿಂಗಾರಗೊಳ್ತಾಳೆ? ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸಿಂಗಾರಗೊಳ್ತಾಳೆ ಆಕಿ? ಯಾರ ಹಾಗೆ? ಹೇಗೆ? ಏನೇನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ? ಚಿಗುರಿಡದು ಬಗೆ ಬಗೆಯ ಹೂಗಳೊರಳಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಭೂತಾಯಿಯ ಮಡಿಲಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಗೆ ಬಗೆಯ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಬಿಡಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಆ ನವ ವಧುವಿನಂತೆ ನೆಲದಮ್ಮ ಸಿಂಗಾರಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾಳೆ. ಚೈತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದರ ವಾಲಗ ನಡೆದಿರ್ತದೆ? ವಾಲಗ ಯಾವುದರ ವಾಲಗ ನಡೆದಿರುತ್ತದೆ? ಯಾರ್ಯಾರ್ದು ವಾಲ್ಗ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ.
ನೆಲ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಗಿಲು.
ಹಾ, ನೆಲ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಗಿಲಿನ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಈಚೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಚೈತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಗಿಲಿನ ವಾಲಗ ನಡೆದಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರದ ಸೊಬಗು ಏನು? ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರದ ಸೊಬಗು ಏನು? ಸುಂದರತೆ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ, ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ? ಕೊರಡು ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನರು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತದೆ. ಕೊನರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಚಿಗುರು. ಶಬ್ದದ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನ. ಹೋದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು ಕೊರಡು ಶಬ್ದದ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು, ಕೊನರು ಶಬ್ದದ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಪದದ ಅರ್ಥ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನ. ಕೊರಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಣ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆ, ಕೊರಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಣ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆ, ಬರಡಾಗಿರುವ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಕೊರಡು ಕೊನರಿಸಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಕೊನರಿಸಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೊನರಿಸಿ ಪದದ ಅರ್ಥ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ.
ಚಿಗುರು ಹೊಡೆಯುವುದು,
ಹೊಡೆಯುವುದು, ಚಿಗುರು ಹೊಡೆಯುವುದು ಪದದ ಅರ್ಥನೂ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊರಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಣ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆ, ಬರಡಾಗಿರುವ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಇನ್ನ ಕೊನರಿಸಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚಿಗಿತು, ಸಿಗಿಯೋದು, ಸಣ್ಣ 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 ಚಿಗುರು ಹೊಡೆಯುವುದು, ಎಲೆಗಳನ್ನ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಎಲೆಗಳನ್ನು ಬಿಡುವುದು. ಹಾ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದ ಸೊಬಗು ಅಥವಾ ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರದ ಸೊಬಗು ಏನು? ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರದ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬದ ಸೊಬಗು ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಶಬ್ದ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ವಸಂತ ಋತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸ ಬರ್ತದ, ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸವಿಚೈತ್ರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರುಚಿಯಾದ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಸೊಬಗು ಸುಂದರತೆ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕೊರಡಾದ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನರಿಸಿರ್ತದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚಿಗುರು ಹೊಡೆದಿರ್ತದ. ಆ ಚಿಗುರು ಹೊಡೆದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲೆಗಳು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಣ್ಣ ಬಣ್ಣದ ಹೂಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾವು. ಅದು ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತದಂದ್ರ ಆ ಎಲೆ ತುದಿಗೆ ಮುತ್ತಿಡುವಂತೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇದೇ ಚೈತ್ರ ಮಾಸದ ಸೊಬಗು. ಒಂದೇ ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊರಡಾದ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಗುರೊಡೆದಿರುತ್ತದೆ, ಚಿಗುರೊಡೆದ ಎಲೆಗಳು ತುದಿಗೆ ಮುತ್ತಿಡುವಂತೆ ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಯುಗಾದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತಿನಿಸನ್ನು ಹಂಚುವ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ ಇದೆ? ಈಚೆಗೆ ಬರೀತೀರಿ. ಯಾವುದು? ಬೇವು ಬೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಬೇವು ಬೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಯುಗದ ಆದಿ ತಂದ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ನೀನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಾರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಷಯ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, ಯುಗದ ಆದಿ ತಂದ ಸಂಭ್ರಮವೇನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬ ತಂದಿರುವ ಸಂತೋಷವೇನು? ಏನೇನು ಸಂತೋಷ ತರ್ತದ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಯುಗಾದಿ ತಂದ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ, ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡೋಣ. ಯುಗಾದ ಆದಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನದು? ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬನೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ತಂದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂತೋಷ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಒಂದು ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಒಂದು ಗಿಡಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಆ ಗಿಡಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಂತೋಷ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ತರ್ತದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು 3 ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಒಂದು ಈ ಉತ್ತರ ಅಂತ ಕಣ, ಯುಗದ ಆದಿ ತಂದ ಸಂಭ್ರಮವೇನು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಒಂದು ಮರ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು, ಒಂದು ನಾವು. 3 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಈ 3ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಸಂತೋಷ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ತಂತು? ಒಂದನೇದು ಮರ ಗಿಡಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಗುರು ಹೊಡಿತದ. ಆ ಚಿಗುರು ಹೊಡೆದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲೆಗಳು ತುದಿಗೆ ಮುತ್ತಿಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾವ. ಬಗೆ ಬಗೆಯ ಹೂಗಳು ಅರಳಿ ನಿಂತಿರ್ತಾವು. ಅದು ನಿಸರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿತ್ರ ಬಿಡಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಭೂಮಿ ತಾಯಿ ಒಂದು ಮದುಮಗಳ ಹಾಗೆ ಶೃಂಗಾರಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಸಂಭ್ರಮದಿಂದ ಚಿಗುರುಡದ ಎಲೆಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಂದು ಅವು ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಆ ಧ್ವನಿ ತಾರಕಕ್ಕೆ ಏರಿರ್ತದೆ, ಮುಗಿಲಿನವರೆಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಇನ್ನ ಜನರ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಪಕ್ಷಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ನಿಸ್ಸಾರವಾದ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಡಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಭಾವನೆ ನಾವು ತಾಳಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಸ್ಸಾರವಾದ ಆ ಒಂದು ಬರಡಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವದಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ತುಂಬಿದಂತೆ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಿಯಾಶೀಲರಾಗಿ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಹಾಡುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಿಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಂತೋಷ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬ ನಮಗೆ ತಂದು ಕೊಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ವಿಷಯ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವೇ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಗಳು 3 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಗಳು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಉತ್ತರ ಬರಿಬೇಕಂತ ನಿರ್ಮಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ನ ಚೈತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳ ಕಲರವ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿವಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಮರಗಳು ಚಿಗುರ್ತಿರ್ತಾವು, ಚಿಗುರು ಹೊಡೆದಿರ್ತಾವು, ಒಣ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಸಿರು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದ, ಎಲೆಗಳು ಹೂ ಹಣ್ಣುಗಳು ಬಗೆ ಬಗೆಯ ಚಿತ್ರ ಬಿಡಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಇರ್ತದ. ಆ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಪರಿಸರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಳಿತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು ಹಣ್ಣು ತಿಂದಿರ್ತಾವು, ಚಿಗುರು ಹಿಡಿದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತಿಂತಾವ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು. ತಿಂದಾಗ ಆ ನಿಸರ್ಗ ಸುಂದರತೆಯ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಅವುಗಳ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿ ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಉಲ್ಲಾಸ ತುಂಬ್ಕೋತದ. ಉಲ್ಲಾಸ ತುಂಬ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ, ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳ ಕಲರವ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ. ಆ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು ಆ ನಿಸರ್ಗ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯದ ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರತೆಯ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂಥರ ಮತ್ತೇರಿದಂತೆ, ನಿಶೆ ಏರಿದಂತೆ ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಧ್ವನಿ ಉಲಿಯುವಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವು. ಇನ್ನು ಕೋಗಿಲೆಯು ಕೂಡ ಆ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಪರಿಸರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಳಿತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕೋಗಿಲೆ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಕಂಠದಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ತದ. ಆ ಕೂಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಧ್ವನಿ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಎತ್ತರವಾಗಿ ಕೂಗ್ತದ. ಆ ಧ್ವನಿ ಆ ಮರಗಿಡಗಳಿಂದ ಮುಗಿಲಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟಿದಂತೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದ. ಹೀಗೆ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಒಂದು ತಮ್ಮ ಹಾಡುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ, ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿ ಗುಟ್ಟುತ್ತಾ, ಕೂಗುತ್ತಾ, ಗಿಡದಿಂದ ಗಿಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಜಿಗಿಯುತ್ತಾ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಿರ್ತಾವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕವಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ವರ್ಣಿಸಿದ್ರು. ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಷಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿವೆಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನ 8-10 ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂದರ್ಭದೊಡನೆ ಇನ್ನೂ 2 ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂತರ ಮುಂದಿನ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಧಾನ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಅಂಥದ್ದೇನ ಅವಸರ ಬೇಡ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಸಂದರ್ಭದೊಡನೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, 8-10 ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಪೇರ್ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ನಾನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರೆಯೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಪದ್ಯದ 2 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಅದು ನಿಮ್ ಕೆಲಸ. 1 ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಓದ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ 3-4 ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸ್ವಂತ ಬರೀರಿ. ಪೂರ್ಣ ನೀವೇ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ವಿಷಯ ಸ್ವಂತ ಬರೆದು ಬಿಡೋದು. ಇವು 2 ಉತ್ತರ ನೀವೇ ಸ್ವಂತ ಬರೀರಿ, ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿನಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಭಾಷಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ರಿ.
Good afternoon, students. Can you see the PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay, today here we are going to discuss about the business studies lesson, that is globalization of business. This is the third chapter. Beginning 2 chapters we have completed in the first sem syllabus day. Today we will discuss about the globalization of business, the third chapter of that business studies, that is globalization of business. It means taking our business to the entire world, or presenting our business in the world day, or leading our business in the entire world. Instead of in India only, we have to globalize our business to earn the more income or to provide service to the various countries or different parts of the people of the world. Therefore, it is called, or it is that process, it is called globalization of business here. Global means world, taking your entire business which we have been practicing in our country, in our state, to the world. That process is called globalization of business here. There are 3 words which are leading the present economy, that fields: LPG. L means liberalization, which means here reducing the restrictions to invest amount in a country to carry on a kind of a business activity, or to extend our business in the different parts of the country. Who will reduce the restrictions? Government, it will reduce the restrictions, and that process it is called a liberalization. In Kannada we call that udarikarana. In the rules and regulations, we have to reduce that few restrictions to invest, or to attract that world companies to invest their fund in our country, and create job opportunities to the youth here. And P means privatization. Government, it is alone cannot carry that all activities toward that modernity here. Therefore, allowing that private sectors also to carry on that all fields or a kind of economical activities which are run by the government. Some independently they will do that all activity, it means carry on that field activity. Some others with share, 50% government and then 50% that is private sectors or private companies, they will lead that field there. For example, that air transport. And the last one, it is globalization, taking our business to the world, or presenting our business products in the entire world here. Spread of our products, technology, information, job, and also culture across the country, it is called, or that process it is called globalization. We learn the following after reading this chapter, or after studying this entire globalization of business chapter. We will understand the following points. Meaning of globalization. Little bit idea already have in your mind regarding that meaning of globalization. And the second, it is here the factors that are included in globalization. What are factors are there in that globalization, that we'll understand regarding its characteristics, merits and demerits, or advantages and disadvantages, and that other issues. The third, it is main characteristics of globalization. Advantages of globalization, disadvantages of globalization. World Trade Organization, in short form it is called WTO there. These are the all points which we'll discuss in this chapter. These are the pictures which refers that globalization. Over the period of time, if we are concentrating on our that business or duty or that kind of work, it is any kind of industry, any kind of that business, we may be the word product in the future there. The last during the time of that lockdown days, our honorable prime minister, he has told that once whatever that products which we are getting from the abroad or which we are sending to outside, once they were the local product, but due to the effort of that businessman and then their efficiency, nowadays here they had become the world products there. For example, Infosys, first it was it was selling product in India only, but at present due to the reason of that globalization, it is selling its goods and products in throughout the world in different parts of the countries also. Like American company, that is Apple, Dell, or iPhone, they are also able to sell their products in other countries or to start their branches in other countries due to the reason of only this globalization there, and also that liberalization and privatization. Globalization is not a new phenomena to business field. It is not a new area to the business field here. It is an old which started during the 18th century, later 18th century, and then earlier 19th century there. It is started in the period of later 18th and then earlier that 19th century there. The period between 1817 and 1913 played a growing trend towards globalization. During this period, this globalization, it has emerged, and that few countries they started to introduce their goods in the other countries. Means they focused more on that globalization to create job opportunities or to send our goods to the abroad. Before also it was running through that sea routes, the transaction between the country to country, but it was less. It had taken tremendous, it has took tremendous progress, very what a great progress in this period. And later onwards, the end of that 20th century also, it has took more than the previous due to the policies of the government and interest of the businessman. It has increased more than that earlier there, how it was during that later 20th century. It means 1980 onwards. But after 1980, globalization achieved a great progress in the economic reforms of developing countries. In the developing countries, this globalization, it has taken a great progress in the countries in the 1890 onwards, such as in India there. In India, before that 1980, we didn't, it means our ancestors, that national leaders, they didn't focus on this globalization. Because up to that 50 to that 80, it was engaged in the identification of that solution to their problems. You know that problems which were those that we studied in the post-independence India there. But after standing on its own feet, Indian national leaders, they started to focus on this globalization there to get more income or to spread our product across the world. Not only it's the matter of that national leaders, and also that some business man also they have shown their interest in spreading their business across the world. These are the pictures which tells us about the globalization. This Walmart, is a kind of that supermarket that is, and other that even more also. Recently in India, that more supermarket it has opened there. More it is the multinational company. I think that is belongs to America there. Due to the reason of this globalization, in almost all the countries, it has been opening its branches or its shops there to sell the goods. Even that Reliance Communication, it means Reliance that supermarkets are also have been opening in across the country there, or across the world also. Like the Infosys software products are how they are selling in the across the country and across the world, like that. Of late means here recently the achievements in technology, communication and internet communication systems have made large business units here. The progress recently, the progress which have happened in the technology and communication and also that internet communication here system, these enlarged that business, or this helps to that business to extend across or spread across the world. By sitting here only, we can order the product of that abroad country. By sitting through the India only, here we can sell our products to the other countries by using that modern technology and communication way. We can take an example of only that fund transfer. Before that, a few years back, each and every citizen of India, if they would like to transfer or if they would like to withdraw amount, they would go to bank. But at present, in our home only, by sitting in our home only, we can transfer amount to the any part of the world there, or we can do transaction regarding the any kind of that goods and services. These are the results of this globalization. This is the picture. How do we are using at present by using the mobile, that all? How do we getting that services by using the mobile or that modern technology, communication, and then that internet and other that units there? If you would like to purchase any kind of mobile, you can just by getting into the internet, you can apply or you can order there. Any kind of goods which you require. It would be about the food also, clothes also, or shoes, or that mobile phones, any that washing machine, any product which you want to your house for your day-to-day that activities. you can order. But we should be careful while ordering that online goods. While we will order that goods through the online, here we should take a few precautions. Sometimes we may get cheap also. Therefore, very carefully we have to do transaction through the mobile banking or that internet banking while purchasing the goods or while getting the services through the that mobile or internet there. Because a lot of that internet steps, they are searching the way to cheat the people there. Recently, I have read their a story in newspaper. Someone else, that person, he called to a person during the situation. Instead of father, that son, he received that call there. And that person, those who called to their number, he told to his son to install a kind of app to provide a services of bank. That a child or that a son, he didn't know about that properly, but he believed that instruction which that caller he gave to him. Suddenly he installed that app. While he installed that app, within a few minutes, that caller who called to that number, he withdrew there nearly 9 lakh rupees. Father later on would see approached the police station. He lodged his complaint there. Like this, that cheats are also common in this mobile banking, internet banking. Therefore, by taking the necessary precautions, we should do the transactions. Suddenly, we shouldn't believe that. We have to verify regarding that apps also, regarding the transactions also. Whenever we will get confirmation regarding that product it is or that way it is safe, then only we can do that. By showing the different kinds of advertisement, they will attract us to download their apps, how to do that service, how to engage in that kind of activities there. But we should be careful while doing the transaction, while doing the activity for that mobile banking and net banking. As a global unit, that means the activities of these large business units are not confined only to the place where they are established, but spread all over the world. Under this globalization year, whatever products we will produce in our country, they are not used only in that place only there, in that country only. Here, we can spread that across the world, or we can sell that across the world by using that different globalization policies. The International Monetary Fund, that is called as the IMF, has defined globalization as follows here. The growing economic interdependence of countries worldwide through increasing volume. It means that quantity and variety of cross-border transactions. This is what the meaning of that globalization. Remember, the growing economic interdependence. We depend upon here each other between India and then that Sri Lanka, India and then Arab countries, India and then America, to fulfill our desires and needs here, or to get our goods and services from the worldwide countries. The growing economic interdependence of countries worldwide through increasing volume and variety of cross-border transactions in goods and services, and of international capital flow, and also through more rapid and widespread diffusion of technology. Diffusion means here action of spreading our technology in the other countries. Here, the process of globalization, it includes here the economical interdependence of countries across the world, and also it includes here that goods and services which we will import and export between the countries, and also it includes here that international capital flow. It means that other countries, that businessmen, they will show their interest to invest their amount or to start their business. That is what part of this international capital flow there, and also through more rapid and then widespread that technologies here. That globalization, it includes here the interdependence of countries, import and export activities of goods and services, and also international flow of that capital, and also that widespread of that technology here. Whatever that goods and services which we want, we will take from the abroad countries, and then whatever they require, we will send to them there, or we can export from our country. You can take an example of our India only area. In India area here, we are producing more and more that lemon. You might have heard about that news there, because you are more than me, you are familiar with this area there. You have born here only and grown up. That lemon, it is exported to the Arab countries, because that area it is doesn't that area doesn't have more that agricultural land. Maybe they would not produce their lemon, or that production it is less. Because of that, they may import that lemon from India or from Karnataka there. Like that on our pomegranate also there, dalamri or other that products which we are producing in our Vijayapur district here. Globalization is the increasing cross-border movement of goods and services. In simple word, this is the meaning of that globalization here. Globalization is the increasing cross-border movement of goods and services, providing goods and services to the world also, or to the other that countries, and getting the goods and services from the abroad countries also here. This process, it is called as that globalization. During the 16th and 17th century, or that during the middle century, up to that modern India, people, they were getting fear to cross that ocean border. They believed that they will send out of their religion there if they went out, if they went to abroad. ಮಧ್ಯಯುಗೀನ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬಿಲೀಫ್ ಇತ್ತು ಭಾರತೀಯರಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಬಿಲೀವ್ಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ if they crossed that ocean, they will lose their religion there. They will boycott by their people. Getting like this type of that fear, they didn't show their interest to cross the border there. And whenever that British they ordered Indian soldiers to cross border and fight against their enemies, French and others here, soon some that Indian soldiers they rejected in fear of that they would lose their religion. They will boycott from their religion there. But recently here in the modern world, that all kind of that beliefs they are declared due to the reason of that globalization here, or reduced. International flow of capital and technology and information. Globalization means here international flow of capital, technology and information. These are the different type of that meanings of that kinds not a type, kinds of type, both are same. These are the 3 to 4 meanings of that globalization. First one, that is what we have told, Globalization is the increasing cross-border movement of goods and services. And which means here international flow of capital, technology and information. Capital means here amount, large amount, which they invest in to carry on their kind of business. Formation of one worldwide market by obtaining raw materials and other resources from cheap market. Formation of one worldwide market by obtaining raw materials. But nowadays here we can import that materials which we require to produce the goods, and after producing goods in our country we can export that goods to the other there, even though if we do not have sufficient resources. For example, you take care of that Japan there, it doesn't have more resource because that area is very small, even though it is importing a large quantity of raw materials across the world and producing the goods in their country and exporting to the other countries that products which it will produce in its country there. And after some time it is doing their tie-up with other multinational companies. This is what picture here. Raw materials they will take through the supplier or through the brokers, and in their country they will manufacture that all goods through the raw materials which they imported from the other countries. And after manufacturing goods here, they will send it to the others. The same matter, the same issue India it was faced during the 17th and 18th century there from the British. They took raw materials in less amount there, in cheap. They exported that raw material to England. There they manufactured goods. They produced their goods, and later on they send that all goods to its colonies like India and Sri Lanka and other countries, and had tried to sell that for that heavy cost. This is possible, or this is happening through this globalization here. This globalization, so this way it helps that country which are not have proper resources. So this process also it can achieve a lot of progress there if they do not have that sources to develop the industries in their country. These are the products, raw materials. Production of goods in any region of the world at a cheaper cost. Recently here that China it is practicing this type of water habits here. It is importing raw materials from the abroad countries and preparing the products in its country and dumping that all products in the other countries for the cheapest rate there. Even in India also, even in the abroad countries also. We can get that product in cheap or very less cost, but they are not live long. Within that a few days or within that a few years, they may get trouble with us. It means destroy, decline. And next here we have discussed about the factors which include in globalization. Globalization encourages international capital and trade, overcoming the political barriers among the countries here. This globalization process, it encourages here international capital. It means international investment in the countries here. Even Indians also, they will show their interest to invest their funds in the other countries to carry on their business, such as here that Infosys, Wipro, and that Reliance, and other that Mahindra Tech, or that Pepsi company, or that Indra Nooyi, a kind of business which is leading the biotechnology, actually that is. First one factor is globalization encourage here international capital and trade overcoming the political barriers among the countries. The second one it is globalization refers to the worldwide phenomenon. No. Globalization refers to the worldwide phenomena, areas of technical, economical, political, cultural exchanges brought about by modern communication, transportation, legal infrastructure, as well as the political choice to consciously open cross-border links in the international trade and finance here. It is found in these all areas here, globalization. In which areas here? Technical areas also, economical, political, cultural exchanges here, and that modern communication, transportation, and legal infrastructure. These all fields. Globalization creates a free trade zone by removing the import and export duties here. The another important factor which is in the globalization is here free trade policy here. In India also it has signed for that free trade policy with its neighbor countries like Nepal and that Australia and Japan, because oftenly here they have to import and export that goods between the countries to produce the goods or to fulfill our desires, needs, requirements here. While approving or while agreeing with this free trade zones, we have to act very carefully here. We shouldn't lose our independence also here. Otherwise, like China, that countries, abroad countries, they will dump all products in our country there. You don't know if it is not useful to us for that cheap rate there. Through container services in shipping, globalization reduces the transportation expenses here. The globalization, it is reducing the transportation expenses through that container services. Container services, it means wait here. That container services, it is a kind of cloud services that allows software developers and IT departments to upload and organize, run, scale, and manage the top that businesses. That is the word cloud services that allows all that software developers and then IT departments to upload and organize and run that and manage the different kinds of that activities there in the country. It helps to reduce that transportation expenses here, that kind of business. These are the two kinds of that ships by using the containers here. They are transporting the goods from one country to another country or from one place to another place by using the that sea routes. Goods are filled in these containers here. It would be software materials also, or any other that goods which you require to use in our country there. Globalization helps to reduce the restrictions on capital investment or fully removes the barriers on capital flow there. The another important factors which is in the globalization is here. It helps to reduce or to remove there that entire that all restrictions or that barriers which are on the way of that investment by the abroad. Recently, our Honorable Prime Minister he kept barriers on the trade between the China and then India there. Because of that, Ladakh conflict between the countries, and also it suspected by sensing the future danger, it has kept a barrier between the. It means he has kept that barrier between the India and then China in the kind of business. Before that, all Chinese companies are allowed to tie up with any company of India without taking the permission of the government. But the recent we formed that law or that kind of policies, they kept a lot of restrictions on that kind of activity there. By sensing the future that dangers, that central government it has prepared that restrictions, or it has restricted that kind of business activity. But with other countries, maybe it's allowed. It helps to invest that abroad countries here, abroad country that companies in the developing countries. If we reduce that restrictions, all that other country that companies they will show their interest to invest their money in India there, and that investment it may create a lot of job opportunities. To take an example of that more only, just beginning also I have told that is multinational company. Due to the reason of this globalization, it has installed or started its shop in India there, that supermarket shop, and they select here that the local people to work in that, and they will also get job opportunities. Globalization creates subsidies to the Worldwide Trade Organization. Globalization it creates here subsidies. It means that concessions in trade also in the selling of that kind of goods in the business. It means it may reduce that cost of that product sale by providing that subsidies and others. Less that price they will show they will show their interest to sell their product in the other countries to increase their business or to enhance their business. If they had tried to sell their goods for that high value or how high that cost, others, large number of people, they won't purchase that kind of product there. Therefore, in suitable price, they will try to sell their goods through this globalization. Globalization creates a harmonization of intellectual property laws across the majority of states which have more restrictions here. It creates here harmonization means here brotherhood feelings here, I think. Yes, that is, it creates here harmonization of that intellectual property laws also across that majority of states, which we already have that more restrictions. So it may reduce the restrictions and help to that brotherhood feelings to carry on that all business or different kind of that economical activities between the country to country or to state here by removing that barriers or restrictions which are on the way of that. The main characteristics of globalization, this we will discuss tomorrow day. The main characteristics of globalization, this we will discuss tomorrow. Do you have any doubts regarding this globalization? Just understand, globalization means here globalizing our products by removing that restrictions which are on the way of that business here. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Have understood this here all? Once it is a little hard, difficult to understand, you have to read twice to understand all globalization, because I think this is the new concept to you there. A little bit you have studied in the 8th standard, I think, but 2 years back you studied that. This is come under that commerce that you will study in that feature after passing your SLC board exam. Globalization means here increasing the cross-border movements of goods and services, or the spread of products, technology, information, and culture across that border. It is called as globalization. Understood? You read, you will understand. If you haven't understood properly, once it is difficult to understand that. Okay, students, with this here, today I will conclude this class. Remaining all we will discuss tomorrow day. Okay, thank you so much to all. Bye.
Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So yesterday we have started a lesson that is consumer culture, which is written by Cherry and Alexander. So we have completed the first three paras. So at the beginning, how the shops or the advertisement attracts the consumers. So that is explained in the first para. So the author, before to write this story, he went, one day he went, 2 months before, one day he went to a shopping mall. Okay. He saw a huge advertisement in front of that shopping mall. So what was that advertisement he found in that board? You know, see, shop till you drop. Actually, what is the meaning of that advertise? So the shop, that advertisement offering the consumers or the buyers that you have to come here, means you will get the numbers of varieties. So see, you will purchase or you will shop here till what? See, till you lost all your money what you are having. Otherwise, you will get bored or you will tired by purchasing. Then only you will get out from that shop. Otherwise, you will not, because that much of varieties we are having in that in this shop. So that is what actually the meaning of that line. Okay. So that was the advertisement that is called as the mania, which was created by the media. Okay. So that so that forces the buyers or consumers to go for mindless consumption. Okay. Just that through that advertisement, that the sellers, they're approaching the consumers or the buyers, or they're forcing them to go for the mindless consumption. So that is what we have characterized our lives in the 21st century. So in the 21st century, in the name of globalization, we have made like a buying machines. Okay, just that. So in the second para, he says that, so in the history of the whole world, nothing like happens in the past, because that much of a varieties of things, vast scale of things we are having today. Because of that only, the consumerism, the term consumerism has been changed, and the trend also changed. Okay, so just hundreds of years ago, if you told that the people, our ancestors, just they won't believe that. So even the people used to pay monies and they will buy the thirst quenching drinks. So that is not possible in the past. Even our ancestors will laugh by hearing that word. Okay, but what happens nowadays? We are giving numbers of monies to buy the colored, sweetened drinking water. Okay, which used to quench our thirst. Actually, the drinks are not good for our health. Even they will affect on our digestive system and our bones. Then also we are giving money for them, and we are purchasing them and we are drinking them. So even by selling that colored flavored drinks, the companies are earning billions of dollars in a year. Okay, so they are having their own successful stories. So here Pepsi and Cola, they are having their own stories. What is that story? So even in not only in the metropolitan cities or in the some big towns, so even in the remotest nooks or remotest places of India or the whole world, today we are getting the Colas and Pepsi. So that is the success story of Colas and Pepsi. Not only the Colas and Pepsis, like that, so many companies or so many examples Cherry and Alexander gives for you. So such as cigarette companies, liquor companies, hamburg, fried chicken companies. So see that cosmetic companies and fashion wares, now in the name of trend and fashion, we have adopted them, and so they were earning billions of dollars. Okay, so now this is what he gives. So even those companies who are selling these things which are not useful for us, so then also we are forcefully, made the buyer of that product. Okay, so some of the companies, they are earning, lakh of billions. Okay, so they are more than the GNP of some countries. Okay, so gross national that product. So that is very less of the company's income even. Okay. Now in the third para, he says about the advertisement. Okay. So how advertisement, played an essential role in the consumerism, he explained. He said that even the companies are spending numbers or billions of dollars for that advertisement. Okay. So just he said that. So they have made that advertisement. So he used that word or phrase, machinery of persuasion. So the machinery of persuasion means advertisement has been set up in order to generate demand. So why it is set up? So we have to generate, the producers has to generate the demand in the market. So then only they will easily sell the goods. Okay. So that's why they started making that advertisement. So then they will create they will produce they will generate the demand in the consumerism mind. So then they will easily going to sell their things. So even the biggest companies are also, following this phenomena. Okay. So one global advertisement expenditure. So one survey, so that says or that reveals the truth that. So the expenditure of the advertisement, just Benjamin Barber, he was the author, just he explains these things in his book called Jihad versus McDonald World, MC World. So he said that the cost of the advertisement has sevenfold from 1950 to 1990. So what the cost the companies used to spend for the advertisement in the 1950s. See, it is in 1990 that becomes seven times more of that within 40 years. So within 40 years, so that 7 times. So the amount which is used for the advertisement that increased 7 times of that. So at the beginning in 1950, just think that a company used to sell use 39 billion to go for their advertisement. Okay, sorry. 39 billion. Nowadays, what about its cost? $256 billion. Okay. So now that much of amount total companies they were used to using for their advertisement. So that is what he explained, how companies are investing the amounts for the advertisement. Now he also tells one example, that is Hamburg gain of McDonald's. So the company, even it spends $1.4 billion each year on advertising. So that company, only a single company that used to spend $1.4 billion dollars in a year. So that is not a small amount. 1.4 billion means just think that. Okay. So this is what he said about the importance of the advertisement with the data in that para. Okay. Now we will go for the fourth one. It is obvious then that unimaginably vast amounts of money and enormous resources are being spent worldwide in an all-out effort to pursue people to become buying machines incapable of figuring out how much of all that stuff they really need. Simple. So why all this, so this much of money or amount why the companies are spending? Because they want to make the buyers as a buying machines. Okay, so he says that it is obvious then that unimaginably vast amounts of money and enormous resources. So money and resources. The company was investing so much of money and resources, other kinds of resources. It may be human resources or whatever it may be. So that investor that thinks to what? To make the whole world in an all out of efforts pursued to people to become buying machines. They want to make the people buying machine. How? Incapable of figuring out how much of all that stuff they really need. So the people become buying machines. Even they are buying the things, buying the things more what they need. Okay, actually they need some things only. Okay, but now what happens? Because of the advertisement, see, obviously you will go for the supermarket. Just think that. Okay, so you will go for the supermarket. What happens there? Okay. So just you went there and you purchase. You want to first at the fix. Before going to the shop, you have fixed that you want to buy only one biscuit packet. Okay. So one biscuit packet you want. Okay. One biscuit packet you want to buy first. But when you enter in the shopping mall, what did see? They put the offer there. If you taken the 2 biscuit pocket, one will be the free. One will be the free. Okay. So one will be free. Now what? That is lalsa. What? So that lalsa of ours that forces us to take 2 biscuit packets. So what? At the beginning we want to buy only 1 packet of biscuits. Now by watching that advertisement, we have forced to take or buy 2. Now we have purchased 2. Okay. Just simply think that if in your home there are 2 or 3 children is there. So just what do they will use to make? If 1 biscuit pocket is there, they will share and they will eat. Now if they are having 2, then also they will share and they will finish all the biscuits. Okay. So then consumerism automatically it started increasing. So in this way, companies are making the buyers as a machine. Okay, through their advertisement, through their offers, they are forcing them to be a buying machine. Even they force the people to buy more things what they were, actually they were having, no need. Okay, so this is what the first 4 lines. Shopping has become more than a need. Now what happens? Shopping has become more than a need. Nowadays, actually, shopping sometimes we need not go for the shopping. Okay, but also that become hobby for us. That become a style for us. Okay, see, whenever we are having the leisure time, what we will say? Okay, just go for the shopping. So that's why Cherian saying that shopping has become more than a need. So sometimes that we actually not need, then also we will say that okay, we are having free time, so what do we have to do? Just go for the shopping. Actually this will happen more in the metropolitan cities, so they are not having the places to go for any physical activities. So that's why what they will do in holidays or in leisure periods, what they will do, they will go for the shopping. That is what he said. Shopping has become more than a need. For increasing numbers of people today, it has become the cheap form of entertainment and obsessive compulsion they have a little control over, and very often an end in itself. Now what happens? So because of that more consumption, because of that shopping, so that become one type of entertainment for us. We need entertainment, what we will do? We will go for the shopping. Okay, so this is what he says in that 3 lines. So now he talks about America in the next lines. In a recent survey conducted in the United States, it was discovered that most Americans spend roughly half their leisure time watching television, and the other half, no marks for guessing. Don't guess about that. What you are guessing, that is right, he says only. No marks for guessing at the shopping malls. Other half they used to spend their time where? In the shopping malls, of course. The connection between the two activities, it is self-evident. So the connection is there in between two activities. One is watching, the people who used to watch the television. The people who used to watching the TV. And the people, some of the people who used to, shopping. So there is a connection between in this two group. What? How connection is there? So just he explains that the connection between the two activities is itself evident. Television commercials provides the theory which can then be acted upon the shopping malls. So what? The TVs will give the theoretical knowledge, or they will give the advertisement. They will watch. People will watch the advertisements in the TVs or televisions. So now they got only theoretical knowledge. Now they used to impractical. So because by watching the things in the television, they go for the shopping. Okay. So this is what he says. One survey says that. So most of the peoples of US, so they used to spend their leisure times in two activities. One, half of the people they used to go for watching the TV, and some of them for shopping. Remaining half were go for the shopping. There is a connection between these two activities. So what is the aim of the advertisement? With this example, he is saying the aim of the advertisement. What is that? So see, it is what it will make the advertisement it attract and influence the buyer. So first it will attract. So attract and influence. So which thing will make it? TV. Advertisement will make it to that TV or media. So attract or influence, that make, okay, that may attract or influence in order to generate demand. So what advertise or TV medias will do? So first they will create the attraction, then they will go for the influence, then see, attract and influence, they will go for what? In order to generate the demand. So through the advertisement, the aim of advertisement is simple. See, this is the question what we are having in the last of the lesson. Attract and influence in order to generate the demand of things. Okay, so that is the aim of the advertisement. So that is even it happens in US also. Okay, so even US is also not a extract of that. So this is also affected by this phenomena. Now fifth para. Until a decade or two ago, we Indians were relatively unaffected by all this. Not any longer. Trendy, brightly lit shopping centers overflowing with all kinds of goods and baubles have sprouted up all over the country, even in the smaller towns. So it is of about, see, this talk is these words of about a decade or two. So what is that? So in India, we are not having the super malls. Okay, so we are not having the malls. We are talking of about not far away, just before the 20 or 10 years, 10 or 20 years. Okay, this is a story of about 10 to 20 years. So we Indians were relatively unaffected by all this. So actually, we are not having this kind of culture in the India. Okay, So consumerism is not much of ahead in India before a decade. So now what happens? Now the trendy and brighty shopping centers overflowing with all kinds of goods and see bubbles have sprouted up all over in the country. So in the whole country, so the centers, so shopping centers were open. Okay, so shopping centers were opened. So they were, having every types of goods, and they were decorated with the lights. Okay, so baubles means decorated with the small things. Even in the smaller towns, even in that, that shopping centers were opened in the small towns also. Now, what are the things? What are the things we are, before a decade or two? What are the things we are, what used to watch in US or other countries, Western countries? Now that things are happening in India or in Asia. Now, so India was just it's slowly, applying or taking the culture of Westerns, okay, in the consumerism. Actually, that in this para you will get that writer will not like this type of behavior of Indians. The key word now is choice. So see, now today in this decade or in this century, so which one is the key word for the consumerism? That is choice. Now he talks about the choice, okay, in this para. In the fifth para, he used to talk about the choices. Okay, so this is very, very important. Through which examples he used to talk about choice. You have to watch it. The key word now is choice. At last, say thrilled shoppers, we are beginning to get the kind of choice that people in the West have enjoyed for a long time. So the shoppers will say that. So now Westerns were enjoyed all types of choices before 1 or 2 decades ago only. Now in India, so now in India today we are enjoying that choice. Now we are having numbers of choice in India also today. So that is what we are enjoying the consumerism today. But Westerns, they have enjoyed it before 2 decades. Okay, so 1 or 2 decades already. Before of that only they have enjoyed. So earlier of us, they have enjoyed that thing. Now today we are enjoying the thing what already Westerns enjoyed. Okay, so that he says that is none other than choice. So that is nothing but choice. Choice is the thing. Okay. So nevertheless, the fascination with the choice can be carried to ridiculous lengths. A young man, after his first visit to United States, once described to me his eyes. Okay, so his eyes popping out in admiration and wonder that in America they have 83 different flavors of ice cream to choose from. Now he was, the Cherry Alexander give the examples of, here he used to give an example to talk about choice. So what happens? A young man, so first time he used to go for that US and he returned from the US now. So now he says that, so in front of Cherry, and he says that in America, so that Americans, they are having 83 types of flavored ice cream. Means they are having that much of choices, varieties of ice creams in their country. Okay, so he was talking about the choices presence in that country, but in our country we're not having. So before that 10 years, just think that. So when you are a kid, okay, you used to go for a shopping mall or a cloth shop. So what happens? Even you will not get the varieties of dresses there. Just 1 or 2 types of dresses they will show. Still today also we will not get that much of varieties of cloths or things in Indian market. But still somehow it better now. But he's talking of about that thing only. The the young man who returns from that US. He says that 83 different of types of ice creams he has to choose there. He was longing for something like that to happen in India. So that young man saying that Cherian that okay, this thing at least has this to be happen in India. He's saying that it must be happen in India. Okay, now Cherian says that what he was longing for something like that to happen in India. It looks as if his dreams has come true today. So what happens nowadays? Today, his dreams, that young man's dream has fulfilled. Now Indian market having numbers of varieties. Actually, at least we are having not 83 types of ice cream, but at least we are having 20 to 25 types. Okay, so that's what in Indian market today we are having the numbers of choices. The buyers were enjoying the choices. Okay, what already the Westerns enjoyed. Okay, now what happens next? At least for the upper middle classes in India, the high consumption lifestyles of their first world counterparts is now well within reach. At least, okay, we are not talking of about the middle classes or poor classes. At least upper middle classes. He is saying that upper middle class families, not rich families, upper middle class families. Okay, so at least for them, we are having numbers of varieties to enjoy their life. Okay, so at least for the upper middle classes in India, the high consumption lifestyles of their first world counterparts is now well within reach. Now there are the things which they want to enjoy their life, and at least the things are in their reaches, and they take to it like ducks to water. So they here means who? They here means upper middle class people. Okay, so and they take to it like a ducks to water. So what they have taken here? Choice. So the upper layer, upper middle class people, they have taken the choice as a ducks to water. What is the meaning of ducks to water means? So the Indians, middle class, upper middle class Indians, we have taken the changes of life, or we are moving, or we are adopted the changes of life, our life like a Western. Now slightly upper middle class families, they are changing their lifestyle as a Western one. So he says that what? So now, though the consumption of lifestyle of the West, so they are just following it, means they are consuming the lifestyle of the West people. Just slowly they are following the lifestyles of the West. So this is what he says. So what happens in the upper middle class families? They want to copy Westerns. So now at the beginning they are not having, and from the beginning only they want to copy the Westerns, but the things are not in their reaches. Nowadays they are having, they are, at least the things are in their reaches. Okay, so that's why now slowly they are following the Western culture. So now this is what he says. So just he says that Indian shoppers they are very happy today, so because they were thrilled today because what the choices they are having. Okay, so because of the choices they have, they are very thrilled. Okay, so the choices already, the choice what we are having now, that was already enjoyed by the West people, for a long time. So now the tragic comedy of development. So how the title was given by the Cherian Alexander. Actually, the things what we have considered, that is development. Okay, so through the way, by wearing the branded shirts and pants, and by applying the snow powders and making the crops and wearing the coats. So that the things are not actually the development. In the name of development, okay, just we are following the Western culture. So that is what he used to try in the next paras. Okay, so just he will go for them. So that's why he given that the title, the tragic comedy of development. So in the name of development, just think that. So in India at the beginning, just think that 20 or 30 years before, we are not having any centers of Mercedes Benz. So even in India, it is not possible for us to watch the centers of Mercedes Benz cars or the stalls of iPhones. We are not, for us it is not possible to watch them. But now today, what happens? We are having Mercedes Benz cars and all luxurious cars in India. Okay, but what about the roads? Now talk about the roads, the condition of the roads. No, just think that we are using the Benz cars, we are using the luxurious cars. That is the sign for our development. Is it a sign for our development? Okay, we are having that. We are using iPhones. Is it a development? Because see, just think that even we are not getting the proper network. Okay, so network is not proper, but we are using iPhones. So then that will not symbolize our development. So that is what Cherian try to explain here. So we are having numbers of malls in the metropolitan cities, big hospitals in the big cities, but even people are dying because of because they were not getting the treatment at exact time, in the proper time. So is it a development? He talks about in this manner. Okay, so see, now we will go for the 6th para. The deep irony then is that while pockets of private prosperity are growing, there is an inexorable impoverishment of the resources that belong to the public realm. So he says that actually what happens, there are two types of property. One is a public property and a private property. So what happens here in India, so the private sectors are developing. So why? So they are saying that, so what, a doctor is there in the society. Just think that a doctor is there who want to establish a hospital or start a hospital. So what they will take the oath before start that hospital. So they say that we will serve for the poor, okay, and the patients who were in the society. But when once they started a huge hospital, what they will do? They will give the free treatment there? No. So they will take money from them. Okay. So they will take money from them. What they will do? So once when we will enter their hospital, they say that go for this test, this test, this test, this test, this test. So in the names of tests and operations, they will that they will rob us. So they used to rob us. Okay. So they will take all all wealth of ours. Just we will lost our money for the treatment of that patient only. So this is what Cherian Alexander says. By seeing the great buildings of hospitals, it is not a sign of development. Okay, so he says that. What actually, to the people's private sector peoples, now they were growing, they were improving. The private sectors are improving by using the resources that actually must belongs to social, public realm. And the private sectors were grown. So they just developed, but actually that was to utilize, that is to utilized by the public realm only. But that was not happened here. Okay, next what happens? There is thus an amazing variety of sleek new car models to choose from, but the roads in our cities are in pretty bad shape and getting worse. Okay. What I have already told that. So today we are going to the shops of cars and the car centers. and we used to purchase the luxurious cars. But see, we people used to purchase the luxurious cars. But what about the roads? The condition of the roads present in our India. So he talks about that. Again, just watch that. That line. There is thus an amazing variety of sleek means a vehicle, new car models to choose from. For us to choose, different kinds of models of cars were available in the in the car showrooms. But what about the road condition? Whether they are suited for our road conditions, that we have to check. Okay, in our cities, okay, the roads in our cities are in pretty bad shape and getting worse. Fashionably luxurious resorts for the affluent are coming up everywhere, but lung spaces for public use, parks and playgrounds are shrinking. What? For private sectors, the luxurious things are available. For private sectors, we are having everything, but public realm, even we are not having the necessary things such as playgrounds, gardens, and something. So, in the name of development, we have made it as a concrete, whole concrete, concrete one. But even we are not having a small gardens in the cities, which are very necessary for human beings. Okay, just he talks about that. So even we will not get the parks and playgrounds. They were shrinking. It is much the same story with many other services in public domain, including transportation. Not only of about that restricted to gardens or playgrounds. So in society, every kind of things we are having like that only. Okay. So he says that one day, see, it is much the same story of about transportation. Just I will write here, transportation. Transportation, healthcare, transportation, healthcare, libraries, education. Okay. Just watch. So these are the public sectors. What happens? Obviously, so when we will think the transportation, just think that transportation is there. So all the transportation, whether it may be whether it may be a BMTC, KSRTC, any one sector of KSRTC, they all are running in the law. Okay, but the people used to travel through the bus only. But some of the private sector buses also there. So they were also used for transportation. They were in profit. Means what? See how we have neglected the development of social, or public domains. So that was, completely, Cherian Alexander worried. So healthcare also, hospitals. Just think that how private hospitals will be and how government. So government hospitals, even they were not having, the equipment for a proper, treatment. So what the people, they will consider that if they, taken the patients to the government hospitals, they will come with the dead body of them only. So that's why they are not, taking the patients to the government hospital. So these things must to be happen. We will not consider if numbers of private hospitals were established in the society, in the city, and that is not a sign of development. Cherian thinks that once social sectors developed, then only that is the real development. That he says that. So libraries, even we are not having that kind of great libraries, education. That is what we have to talk. The numbers of private schools were established, but what about the condition of government schools? You have to think. Okay. The trend. Okay. The trend is to push even the most essential services into the private realm so that some company or other can make a profit on them. That is what the trend, this is the trend, okay, what he's talk about. So trend is to what, see what is the trend here, to push the most essential services into the private realm, okay. So the most essential things, what services or essential things what we need, so they are, you know, given or they are in the control of private realm. So this is what the trend. So this trend is to push even the most essential services into private realm so that some company or other can make a profit. So some people or some company in the name of this, they were taking, you know, getting the profits. In the process, the poor are being pushed into becoming consumers of increasingly expensive goods and utilities. But so by using the social realms or public realms, the private sectors are developing, but who were suffering? The poor. The poor were suffering. So just they were become the consumers of increasingly expensive goods. Okay, just through that, you know, private hospital and government hospital only, just imagine that. How in the government hospital, at least if we get the, you know, medicines within a 50 or 100 rupees, so then in the private hospitals they will take 500, 400 rupees for that. So this is what the difference. So the poor people, they forcefully become the consumers of that increasingly expensive goods and utilities. So this is what he talks about in the 6th para. He talks about the trend. Okay, so that trend. What is the trend? So that is the trend is to push, you know, to push even the most essential services into the private realm. Okay, realm. So that see that trend will help to whom for some companies and some other men, you know, who used to take the profit of that. And who will suffer there? Poor people will suffer there. So this is what the 6th para. Okay. So next, 7th para. Advertisers and marketing professionals are working hard to see that even people who live at the subsistence level in remote rural pockets are lured and entranced into becoming passive consumers of everything from cola drinks to shampoo. So how Cherian says that advertisers and marketing professionals. So the advertisers and advertising and the marketing professions, the people who belong to marketing professions. So they are what doing? They are working hard. They are working more and more for to what? To make the peoples of even the remote, you know, areas of the world. So even in the rural area of the world, so they want to make them as a passive consumer. Passive consumer means they have to depend everything on that only. Okay, in the villages, what we have to do at the beginning, we will not use shampoos. What we will do, we will use shigakai. Okay, so shigakai, okay, that will used. Now what happens? Even in the remote areas, even in the villages, they are using, they are depending on the shampoos only. That has been changed. So like that. So that what advertisers and marketing professions, they are working hard for what? To see. They hard to see that even people who living in the subsistence level in remote rural pockets are lured and entranced into becoming passive consumers of everything from cola to shampoo. So what are the things they are using? Everything, they must be depend on that, you know, consumerism. So they made like that. They made them as a passive consumer. So the term he used is that passive consumer. Okay. So this is what he says. All they see is a vast rural market waiting to be opened up for commercial exploitation. all they see. So whether it may be advertisers, marketing professionals, what they are, waiting. So they are waiting to open up for a commercial exploitation. What are the fast approaching the day when it will be easier to get bottle of Coke rather than the tender coconut milk or buttermilk in most of our villages. So that advertisers and workers. So in workers, professionals, marketing professionals, what they are doing, they are working for what? They are working even in the remote areas to make the availability of the cocas to shampoo. Okay, even comparing with the natural thing. So just how they are working that what Coca-Cola must be available in the remote areas, even comparing with the tender coconut or water. ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಳ್ನೀರು ಸಿಗೋ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, they have to supply that cola and Pepsi. So that's why they are working hard. So nowadays it is not it is very tough for us to go to the villages and to get the tender coconut water, but we will easily get the cola and Pepsi in the villages also. See, he says that it will be easier to get a bottle of Coke rather than a tender coconut or buttermilk in most of our villages. So this is what the condition of our today, what we are facing. So today we are facing that, so that it is easy for us to go for any villages and to get the cola or Pepsi, but it is very tough to get the tender coconut water in the villages. Okay. The increasing presence of plastic garbages in our rural area is a clear warning signal. See, so we are saying by drinking that cola or drinking waters, we are making the environment as a garbage. Okay, so everywhere we are getting the plastics only. So this is not development. In the name of development, we are making the nature as a garbage of plastic. So the rural areas are at the 1 or 2 decades. So the rural areas were very clean. Okay, they were having fresh air. But now what happens? They were becoming the garbages of plastics. Okay, even in the remote areas, we are not getting the proper fresh air. So that is what he said. So that is what increasing presence of them. So because of that, so plastic garbages are we are finding in the rural areas of our country. Okay, so that is the clear warning signal for us. Okay, next, what is the 8th para? We will watch in the next class.